welcome to the GCW Plant Podcast, episode 22. Once again with us, Mr. John J. Wolf. How are you doing tonight, John?
Doing fantastic, man. How you doing tonight?
Doing all right. I'm going to cover this JCW Uncensored show from the Boonton Elks Lodge in Boonton, New Jersey, and it was a fun show. Very fun show out of the weekend. It's probably the better of the two shows, as we've seen when they do the GCW Cinema Series. That's usually the JCW card, and the JCW card has turned into GCW for free on YouTube. So if you have not checked out JCW Uncensored, please check it out on YouTube, Game Changer Wrestling, and it should be one of the first videos up there. So go check out a free GCW show underneath the JCW banner. And before we get into the matches, you want to do your little pre-show remarks?
Yeah, so we're going to end up opening up this show, and the ring is covered in barbed wire. We're getting barbed wire everywhere. Barbed wire baseball bats, barbed wire chairs, doors, ring ropes are covered in barbed wire. It must have been about a 15 to 20-minute process with 3-4 men to get that whole thing covered. So it was great to see this from the beginning, and it created this great vision, I guess. I'm trying to think of a better word for it off the top of my head, but a visual. It was a great visual. That was the way to put it. But I'm starting to look at this Boonton Elks Lodge, and I'm starting to see here, is Boonton becoming a wrestling hub? I'm just kind of wondering here.
It's the elk. Everybody wants to see the elk sitting up top of the stage. So the elk is drawing the fans in.
Have they named him? Is there a name for the elk?
Booney the elk.
Booney the fucking elf. I like that. Oh, I called him an elf.
Elk, same thing. All right, so first match of the evening, as you said, we see the barbed wire everywhere, which means it is opening up with the barbed wire death match between Mance Warner and Slade. And I was actually shocked that this match was first. I thought this was going to be the main event. I thought this was going to be the violence to end off the show and send all the fans home happy, but I'm actually pretty happy it was first, because as you said, it's a nice way, like the scrambles, to get the crowd off hot, and this card, no better way to start it off hot than with the violence. So what was your thoughts on Mance Warner versus Slade?
Okay, so with Slade, I've never seen a man in so many death matches with an unscarred face and skin. I don't know if anyone else has ever known that before, but it seems like he's still so fresh that he really has still that perfect face, which is, I just don't know how the hell he does it. And I've seen most of the matches he's had in the last 6 months or so. You have too, man, right?
Yeah, the same thing. Like when all those thumbtacks he takes to the heads, the Matt Tremont thumbtack bats. I'm surprised his head's not all messed up. I actually just saw a picture before we hopped on here of a deathmatch wrestler that's also bald like Slade, and like he showed a picture of his head after after a baseball bat thumbtack baseball bat that he got, and you could just see all the little pins and holes in his head, which is very interesting to see. So see, as you said, seeing Slade so clean and not scarred up is pretty impressive.
Yeah, and then he's such a strong heel, and Veda's talking about his farmer's tan that he has there that he's rocking. So I thought it was kind of a fun thing to do, and of course this was still more of a fun show, the unofficial GCW show. During chance of Mansour and Slade, we go right into a stiff slap fight. It was really impressive. I don't know if someone just cracked the other too hard, too quick, but yeah, that was fun. Slade gets a baseball bat, and he punches the baseball bat into Mansour's head. And then Mansour, he was primarily first blood. Mansour threw a chair at Slade just maybe 30 seconds after. Then we have Slade immediately busted open. So this... really quickly, it went straight to blood. It didn't take long. There was a spot where Slade no-sold twice, and I wasn't too fond of that, because you know how that kind of takes away pseudo-realism?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I think it kind of plays into his character, too. I'm the same way. Like, sometimes I'm like, I get like that, even though I love the one counts, sometimes I think they are overdone, especially if it's like the fourth one of the night. It's like, okay, we've seen it too much. As you said, it takes kind of away from the realism, but I could see Slade walking through some of the shots that he does, but there's also some where he does need to sell more to make the other person look good, or else it just looks like, okay, well, if that won't take you down and this won't take you down, you're just going to have to up the violence and up your intensity on your attacks on him. So it kind of does throw the whole motion of the match into whack, but I sometimes don't mind seeing it. I think he did overdo it one time here too. And I think that's kind of goes off like where you said like how Manson, Slade were just slapping the shit out of each other right away. I just see that kind of like this is Manson's kind of moment with Slade of, hey, you ain't walking through this one, son. Like I gotta hit you hard. You gotta sell it. Like slow it. As the veterans always say, slow it down, kids. Slow it down. I think Mance Warner was a perfect opponent for Slade here. It's like, hey, start selling it, dude. You could no sell some of it, but you got to make me look good a little bit here, not just you being the almighty one walking through everything.
Yeah, Mance was the vet here. You could obviously see that he was making sure the tempo was at a certain level. He was calling most of the spots and when they were coming on. So there were a couple spots here. There was a spot where there was a top rope suplex through a door. There was another spot where Slade choke slammed Manser through a barbed wire door. Some form of barbed wire was used in about 80% of the offense overall in this match. So a man then comes to the ring. We don't know who the hell it is. It's got a hood on. It's Hoodfoot. So it was fantastic. Hoodfoot is finally back, and obviously he's back for revenge.
Yeah, I liked it too. I don't understand why he waited till the end of the match to do it. I just think like, hey, if he really had some intensity with Slade, I know you announced this match. I know you got to put it on, obviously, because it's one of the marquee matches, if not the marquee match of the night. But I just kind of figured like knowing Hoodfoot's kind of character stuff, they should have started off with like maybe him and Slade just brawling throughout the whole arena to open up the show of, hey, like we can't even get to Mance Warner. You got to get through me first before you continue on. We're not done with this kind of here. I like how they did it at the end. I really wish there just would have maybe been a actual winner to this match, because once Hoodfoot came in, the match ended up being a no contest, and you heard MLJ like, I don't know what happened here. I don't know if there's a winner. Now I'm going to go down for the official word. You know, I'm going to actually do my job and get the official decision here. So I liked Hoodfoot coming back. Yes, I'm hopefully he's healthy this time and will stay healthy. Obviously with death matches, you never know. But I want to see him more in the GCW, JCW ring. I like how they did continue it. And I like how they especially did it too, with Hoodfoot not playing any games. He whips out the knife and is like going to try to actually slash Slade. And then I just picture like these two actually probably really do hate each other. Slade is just unpredictable. I've said it before. Like I would not want to cross the street with him there. Hoodfoot, a mad Hoodfoot, is someone I don't want to see go after anybody, because it's just going to be violence too. So I like how they did continue it. I like how they did it. I just wish the timing would have been different, or it would have happened a certain way. But for what it was actually kind of cool. Because at first I was thinking maybe it was Mason underneath the mask at first, but I'm like, this is a big guy. Yeah. Then I was like, hold on, this is a way too big a guy. Like there's no way it could be Mason, obviously, but because I know Mason and Slade used to work together, and I was like, oh, maybe this is one way to bring Mason up to the GCW roster and do something with Mance. But it was fun. That's what I originally thought.
Yeah, and then he had a knife, and he's threatening Slade with this thing in his face, and oh my gosh! And it was the continuation of the injury storyline. All the security then's coming to the ring and tries to separate the men. They're obviously yelling and threatening each other the whole time. I don't know if someone actually got the knife off of Hoodfoot, or he just gave up and put the knife away.
And I got scared. I got scared during that part too, because like they were down on the ground, like rolling around, and this knife is still in Hoodfoot's hand with all the referees. Like I thought that was like pretty. Like just watching, I was like, oh my god, please don't stab him, please be careful, and like they just try to hold him back. You're gonna have to get someone else better than Adam Galt to try to hold Hoodfoot back from Slade. So.
Yeah, you know what? I think they both did a really, really, really good job of, trying to put some realism to this. I don't love the weapon situation, knives and guns coming. There's even a guy that he's a gun guy. It's like, and it's just kind of weird sometimes, because people are kind of weird now. So you never know if there is a wrestler who's depressed or upset. Yeah. Anyway, that's those weird back in the head thoughts. But this thing was a lively opener, dude. It was a tough freaking fight. Very busy, no dead time. I agree with you. There really should be a finish, just because I don't know, man. Mance deserves a finish, but I also understand that you got to push that storyline, and I think this Slade Hoodfoot storyline is going to be a real big deal coming up.
Yes, and I love how you said they used 80% of this match was barbed wire. Like, if it's a barbed wire match, this was how you utilize barbed wire. And I thought they
Oh
kind of,
yeah.
especially if we see like an AEW when they had the barbed wire everywhere match and they barely used the barbed wire, where this match is constantly, you just saw any little way that Mance could have used the barbed wire, he was finding any way to use it. I love seeing that for a barbed wire death match. So it was a fun match. Yes, I'm interested to see where they go from here. Does Mance Warner still try to get at Slade? Does Hoodfoot just skip ahead of Mance and get Slade? Like, Slade's got a lot of enemies here. So he is turning kind of into the Charles Mason where everyone's going to want to get their hands on Slade and Mason. So I like it. I like the heel.
Yeah.
Yes, I like the heel work there.
Slade needs to. I'm telling you, Slade maybe needs to be the muscle.
Mm-hmm.
Those two need to hook up.
He kind of was. It was him and Bishop for a while. I know covering for Mason. So, and I liked him in that role. Like, he's that bodyguard in the back. Like you see in the movie, like the guy walks up in the back alley trying to go into the back entrance of a old club or casino. Like, and they're like, all right, I'm here to see Blow so and so, and they're like, who's that with you? Like, oh, that's my muscle back there. And then like the guy never says nothing, just grunts and gives him a look and like, okay, he's good. Like, that fits Slade perfectly. And I kind of want to see that more. I wish they kind of would go back with him and Charles Mason kind of still teaming and still kind of doing their thing together. But I don't think they officially ever got out of that. Like, they just haven't been put in that situation again. So I think they can get back to it. As far as I can remember the JCW shows, I don't remember them being a big blow off with Slade and Mason, but I might be wrong. Actually, now I'm thinking about maybe at the showboat one time, maybe Mason or maybe Slade did get his hands on Mason to kind of say like, hey, I'm done being your muscle kind of thing. You're on your own. And maybe that's why Mason's on his own now. So my memory's not working fully, but they have a lot of, after that first match, there's a lot of places they could go, which is always a good thing. They got a lot of options they could do next.
And I miss Bishop. I just want to mention that too, man. He's cool. I'd like to see him come back again. So in my notes here, I just wanted to mention real quick, this was the first match where I realized no KG again, and we seem to be plagued with this. And I'm not going to lie, obviously we're recording this after a couple other shows have been on past this, so we are all caught up and on the same page if someone is listening to this right now. KG, please come back if you can, man. It kind of stinks not having you here. You're a Joey Styles. Yes. No shit. And I'm not kidding. I grew up, ECW was like 93, 94, 95, 93. I was 14. I grew up as a teenager watching ECW. GCW is primarily ECW, just very much evolved. And yeah, dude, this is my Joey Styles. So I'm really hoping we don't lose our voice because I tried it the other way, and I try to really stay positive, man. I just can't. Dude, there's a hole there. Let's be honest. And it has nothing to do with any of the other people because all the other people are great. No shit. Try to replace Jim Ross. Try to replace some of these guys. KG's a marquee when it comes to our, KG, Prazak. And I have to say, Emil is really rising as somebody who really has to be on that commentary at some point. I don't care if he has to run to the ring, but if you remove Emil from the ring, that's pretty much like the last of the voices. And I mean, KG's over what? When it comes to audio, he's a good chunk of that audio. And I'm like, come on, man. And it's just not the same. And it stinks on my end. So as soon as he comes back, maybe he's ill. Maybe, I don't know. It's none of my business if there's something personal going on. But my God, I hope we have him back soon because I do miss him.
Yeah, I think the last thing I saw on him is possibly the reason why that he's missing the shows is because last I read, like when he first missed the first couple ones, I was like, wait a minute, like hopefully everything's all right. And I went to check on Twitter just to see if there was an update, like, he got caught in traffic, or as we saw, like this LA show, maybe like the airline problems got to him because there's a whole bunch of airline problems. And then I was reading like, oh, okay, he's moving to New York. So maybe he's just in the middle of the move and stuff like that. So maybe that's the reason why we haven't seen him a lot, because he's trying to get comfortable in his new settings and stuff like that. But I'm right there with you. It's just like, it's not a knock on anybody that's filling in for them that night or for those nights and everything. Like I've said this before with MLJ, like I talked to him about it. It's like, it's not the same. Like he is the energy that gets the fans to have their energy before the show starts for each match. Like his ring announcing brings a different level. MLJ brings the GCW vibe to GCW on the ring announcing. Same thing with KG for us at home that watch on Fight TV. KG brings the GCW vibe when he is announcing. It's not a knock on Denise Salcedo when she's doing the ring announcing every once in a while for a couple matches. It's not a knock on the lady from Black Pro, as her name skipping my head. Like I was praising her, like that was as close to MLJ as we got was with her from a guest ring announcer. And even when they did the UK shows, where you hear the UK announcer announce the UK talent to the ring and stuff like that, like it's just a different vibe with MLJ on the in ring, and it's just the same thing at home watching. It's a different vibe. It's very noticeable when KG's not there. Like I love Dave Prazak. Dave Prazak, even when I first started watching GCW, I didn't know about Dave Prazak and his involvement in wrestling. I knew he was an old Ring of Honor announcer, I think. So he was kind of messing, like for me, I was like, oh, he's messing up the names and stuff. Maybe he's like a Ring of Honor guy trying to fit in on an indies, but he doesn't know the name. But the more shows I watched, I could see like Dave Prazak was out of it and he's getting himself back into it and decided to get all the names right, get the nicknames, get the moves right. Like you see him grow and he caught on real fast. And I was like, oh, okay, he knows what he's doing. He's actually very good. He just had to grow on me. Where I don't think there's anybody that could take KG's spot. They did Mose in Atlanta. Mose was okay. It's like he knows the talent, good, but it wasn't the same vibe that we get as KG. I've heard Jordan Castle do commentary. He's very knowledgeable on everything that's going on in the West Coast for the West Coast wrestlings, knows all their moves, the storylines, and all that stuff in the history, which is good. But there's just a different vibe that KG brings, that Emil brings, that Dave Prazak brings, where they are like the staples of the GCW experience when you're either in person or watching on TV. And if they're not there, there is a noticeable difference. And unfortunately, more times than not, it's a more negative experience than it would be if KG was there. So I agree with you. Like, hopefully KG gets everything settled in at his new place. I think, like I said, in New York or something like that, he tweeted out. So hopefully he gets all that settled in and we could hear our Joey Styles back in our GCW ring, because it's different. Like even Jimmy Lloyd, when he missed those couple shows, like because I think he was injured. Like it was noticeable to me. I'm like, where's Jimmy Lloyd this weekend? Jimmy Lloyd's on. That's like if Jordan Oliver, who's wrestled the most for GCW this year, when he's not on a card, my immediate thought was like, wait a minute, I haven't seen Jordan yet tonight. Is he injured? What's going on? Like it's different. It's a noticeable difference where right away it takes away from the show. And hopefully KG will get back on, because there's not a voice I really want to hear other than KG and Dave Prazak, or throw in the MLJ on the Luchador. I love MLJ on the Luchador stuff. I just love him calling all the moves and bringing up all his lucha history. And I love when Nick Gage is on commentary. Like you could fill in a third, but I think Dave Prazak and KG are the number 1 and 2, and they've definitely earned it. And hopefully everything's all right and we can get them back in here, because it has been different. Like this is not a knock on Veda Scott either. Nick Knowledge, they are Veda Scott's a wonderful announcer. It's just not the GCW vibe. That's all.
We're lucky. Dude, we're so lucky that Veda's even still available. I'm 100% surprised that she doesn't have a major job just yet. She knows her shit. She knows how to talk. 100% she's another person that I would never say anything bad about when it comes to filling in or doing whatnot. But I just heard from other fans besides me, because they're thinking maybe I know because I'm a podcast guy, but I don't. I just pay extra attention because I'm reviewing. So this is one of these situations where if anybody knows me, I'm reviewing at 1, 2, 3 in the morning sometimes. Excuse me. Picture this for a second. KG is basically that dude on the couch that's smoking with you. It's basically just telling you what's going on. And it's almost like you can talk back and forth with him. And it's just this vibe of a fan. It's like an educated fan. This is one of us up there, and exactly what he delivers is just something I really need. So, like I said, we're maybe in the COVID times. So whatever it may be, we just well wishes until he comes back, because we miss you, dude. For real.
Yes, definitely miss you. And hopefully, like exactly what you said, we hear you soon to get KG, because it's a different vibe with you here.
Ugh.
That will lead us into match number 2 of the evening, as it is for the DDT Extreme title, held by one Joey Janela going against Beastman in a body slam challenge match. And right away, I loved how this was not a real match per se, how it was like a different kind of gimmick match, but it's something that makes sense. And especially in Joey Janela's crazy booking mind, it actually makes sense. But it's different. Where the reason why it makes sense is because it is different, and this has proven a point for Joey about to go back to England as the DDT Extreme title holder. So I loved it. I haven't seen much of Beastman. I think I've only seen like maybe 1 or 2 matches of his. I didn't really know much of him, but I just know this was one of Joey Janela's like the weirdest, oddest opponents that he's gonna make chicken salad out of chicken shit. On paper, it looked like chicken shit. I'm like, who is Beastman? Like this ain't gonna be a good match. But yes, I loved how they did the body slam challenge for this match. That made it very much more interesting for me. What was your thoughts on the body slam challenge?
It sounded like a bland and boring concept. I've seen him 100 times. Here comes the big guy and blah blah blah. No lie, that's what I was looking for. Okay, so I was not looking for Beastman to come out at his size. They build him on the way out at 500 pounds. I was so impressed. I had to look him up. He's 394 pounds build and 6'2". I would put him more at 330 to 350 shoot, and maybe 5'10", 5'11" with rubber on. So I don't know where he lands, but I'll tell you, he lands in the big category. So what swerve on this got, I just say swerve because it was unexpected, but what got me here was the fact that they played up that he was too dumb to understand the rules. And that was such a key component to the storytelling here.
Yep. I loved every bit of before the match even started with all that stuff. It was awesome. I loved it.
Yeah, everyone was trying to explain it to him. The referee tried to show him, and Beastman obviously slams him. It's just, I like the angle. It's something I've never seen before. It was really unexpected, and I freaking loved it. I don't know how many times you could pull that off with it. You couldn't pull it off twice and it'd be as exciting because the whole damn thing was unexpected.
I loved how MLJ was even running around the ring trying to stay out of Beastman's way. Like he even told a little story with it, which I loved because like even MLJ like adds to the story. They're like, okay, this is a guy, he don't know what he's talking about. He might not be smart enough to know, but he is big enough to kick any one of our asses. So I don't want to make him mad, so I'm just gonna say his name and run away from him. And like this was all before the match even started, which that for me, I was hooked right away. I was hooked and I was loving it.
Oh yeah, the trainees coming in and he had them demonstrate over and over and over. And initially I put killing time because at this point I was thinking it was going to be bullshit. No lie, I really thought it was. I go, okay, he's coming in. This is just going to be a killing little blah, blah, blah. I really thought Joey was just going to get dumped on his ass and it'd be pretty much over. But the title was on the line. And I'm looking at the whole thing, and I know Joey's back is kind of sometimes, so I'm trying to do the physics on this one because some of this math didn't add up. But the one thing I also seen that they did here that's really, maybe it's an 80s leftover thing, was watching a big man get chopped down. He really did the chopping here. It was, cut. And it really took time. It wasn't a 1 or 2 minute it was this long, slow kind of drawn out thing. And they really done it well. There was a spot where they finally went to the outside of the ring like only Janela could. And Beastman got sat up in a chair. Oh no, I'm sorry. We'll go this way because I forgot Beastman sit Janela in the chair.
Yep.
This fucked me up because he runs around the ring and I didn't expect that. And cannonballs fucking Janela. I was watching this at like 2 a.m. and I actually yelled Jesus Christ out loud, and I never say anything. And I realized I said it out loud after I said it. And then this is awesome chance. It was just obvious from the get-go, and even more now that Beastman is kind of really getting over in JCW. And I'm with him, dude. This guy is awesome to watch.
I loved how he carries around that big old just bone like he's Fred Flintstone too. Like that was hilarious. Like I think I loved what happened before the match even more than the actual match itself. Even though the match, as you said, it was kind of like it made sense the way Joey like broke him down and was able like to kind of wear him down before he gets the body slam. But I love the false attempts at it where you just never know. But just the trainees and Joey Janela getting mad at one of the trainees. I forgot what one of the trainees said at the beginning, but like one of the trainees is like said something, and you just see Joey just goes, "Oh my god, this is what we're living with now. This is what kind of people." Oh, I think that's what it was. He's like, "Oh, what's the first move you learned in wrestling school?" And he goes, "Canadian Destroyer." Yes. And like instead of a body slam, and Joey's like, "Oh Jesus Christ! Like what is wrong with these kids?" And like, I think that was a story going on before. Like, it's a long going thing, right? Everybody's doing the Canadian Destroyers. So I like how Joey brings the like kind of the pop culture references, or not the pop culture, but like the wrestling culture references that's trending on social media. Like he brings those into his matches and stuff like that. And like how he got mad at the trainees and was chopping the shit out of him. Like I just loved everything before the match even started. And then you just see Beastman get mad and just start chopping a trainee for no reason too. It's like, all right, the match is on, and then. It was a pretty decent match. It was a lot of theatrics, obviously, but it's Joey Janela. Like he makes anybody look good. Whoever he's in the ring with, this year, I don't think I've seen Joey Janela have a bad match this calendar year. I have not seen one where I'm like, oh, I didn't really like it. Like every opponent, whether it's made sense in a logistical kind of form or hey, it's Joey Janela and he wants to get the weirdest wrestler there is that nobody's heard of, but put them over and show how good he really is. Let's pull a Beastman out of the way, or let's pull in like, well, Suzuki's over, but like let's pull in Suzuki in. Like I just love how Joey Janela is so flexible and his matches are like so varied where it's kind of seeing the same formulaic in ring where it's like a lot of outside stuff, a lot of distraction, a lot of fun, a lot of comedy, but when it's time to get serious for the ending, like the last 10 minutes, he kicks it into another gear. And Joey's on another level right now. And I'm loving seeing it, love watching it. And Beastman, yeah, I could see Beastman back in a JCW ring. I don't know about GCW quite yet, but at least a JCW ring.
Yeah, there was a couple times where he was maybe just off a little, like he slipped on the top rope in one spot. It was kind of towards the end of the match. But again, that's just a slip. But, you know, he puts the guardrail on Beastman, and Joey does a swanton on him. There was another spot where Joey eventually got slammed into it from the beginning. So this poor guardrail was showing some wear. Now, there was a great shot, and I don't know how many people caught it, and I hope someone can go back and catch it. But there's a spot towards, obviously, after this swanton, but Joey's on the ring post. I think he's on the corner, one of the ring corners there. And if you look, the camera is directly right where the elk, it's not horns, the elk antlers are directly perfectly over his head. And it looks like he's got elk antlers. It's actually pretty damn cool. If someone can, if you can find it and screen capture it, it's actually kind of cool. But I was doing my notes and I looked up at a glance and I saw it and I'm like, that is so cool. I would say my vote for Beastman to come back again, I think, and most people would say yes.
Yeah, I think for what it was, like even at the beginning too, like when all the shenanigans were going on, you see him just kind of laying on the rope, like the second rope. I'm like, what is he doing? Like this guy, is this going to be a good match? Like I was actually getting concerned there, but once it kicked into gear, it was fun. And Joey did a crazy, like not a crazy, but like he had Beastman laying on the outside and put the chair on him, and then he went to the top and jumped on him, and then like landed on it and didn't just fall off of it. He like stuck the landing where it's like. Put all the force into Beastman with that chair and like just stuck the landing, which I thought was impressive watching because Beastman's a giant dude. Like Joey Janela could have bounced off. Well, when we talk about the LA show with their match against South Pacific Savages, when Joey bounced off Juicy Finale, it like looked like he just elbow dropped concrete instead of an actual human being. Like that's what I saw in this match. Like he just stepped on Beastman and Beastman like just didn't even move. And Joey's good, man. I like Joey, and this was a fun one. Like they did a lot of crazy like guardrails and chairs and dives. Like I loved it. This was a fun match. This was a typical Joey match.
Well, it was a hell of a lot more entertaining than I expected. I was expecting a 2 out of 5. I got a 4 out of 5 kind of match. You know what I mean?
Yep.
This is another one of those Joey matches where I don't know if he could. I'm sure he could pull it off again. But I don't know if it'd be entertaining as much the second time. So kudos for Joey for putting on another entertaining match and hitting me from the side with something I 100% didn't expect.
Yes, and I don't know if he said who won, but Joey Janela did win as he did body slam Beastman as Beastman was on the top rope about to do a splash onto Joey. Joey caught him up top and then ended up power slamming him down to the ground from the top, which was the actual body slam, and that was for the victory. And also, too, I liked how Beastman kept on going for pins, like playing off of not knowing the rules of the match. Like he was an actual caveman.
And the slam was really well written because if he couldn't get him up, that's a great way to write in a bigger man, because the whole time that story is kind of, how in the hell is he going to flip this guy? And then eventually, of course, he just gets on the top rope and gets up from underneath him, and the guy does his thing. And you know, I don't know if I've ever seen that kind of a finish before, but that finish is genius, and that allows you to get these huge guys that you normally wouldn't see somebody even try to slam because they just physically couldn't.
Yeah. Very entertaining match, Joey Janela and Beast. And that will lead us into our third match of the evening, another gimmick style match, as we have the bull rope match, as Charles Mason goes one-on-one with the one called Manders. And I was excited for this one. I was kind of hoping this would have been, even though I honestly didn't think it would happen, but in the back of my mind, I was like, I hope Charles Mason gets his comeuppance tonight. And I hope it's Manders that does it, because Manders has been like one of those people lately for GCW that's like, hey, I'm here. I'm ready to go. Whatever you need me to do, I'm ready to come in, kick ass with SGC, party with him, drink, and then do it again the next night. And I like seeing Manders on more of these shows now, more recently, because I know he was on him for a while, then took a little break, and then now he's back here, and I'm kind of glad he's doing it. And I think he's like very fit, like perfect too he's good for GCW, but I think like if JCW ever has like a kind of a quote unquote title or start doing more storylines, stuff like that, this was one I think where these two could kind of carry the JCW brand and like kind of be the stars of it, as Charles Mason's that dastardly heel that everybody hates, and one called Manders, he's just impressive. He's very easy to get behind. The crowd loves him, and he's always there and gives 110% and just is willing to do whatever it is for the company to succeed. And obviously, how can you not like that? So, this being a bull rope match specifically too is why I thought maybe Manders might be able to get a little comeuppance on Charles Mason. But what was your thoughts on this match?
Okay, the first thing I was thinking was I was hoping Mason wasn't going to come out of the bull rope so we could actually have a real match. Oh shit, he's a spoiler kind of heel. We talk about that all the time. You know, we go 5, 6, 7 minutes in, we're emotionally involved. This is going to be, we finally get this ass kicking, just like you're saying. And, you know, he just slips out and then it's no contest and somebody helps him kick somebody's head. No, we actually got a real match where both of these guys stayed on that bull rope. So that was satisfying right from the get-go. Also, there was that cowbell tied to the middle of the rope, and I was wondering how that was going to be used and how hard. Mason did spend a lot of time trying to escape, so it wasn't like he wasn't trying to get out of this thing the whole time. The cowbell, yeah, that was used several times. Mason was getting heavy boos as usual. Manders was the first to get busted open, then beaten, and then stabbed with the belt buckle. Both men used the ring as leverage against the other quite a few times with that rope. Mason was being beaten a lot. He was almost choked by the ropes on a body slam one time. That was when I started to realize that these bull rope matches can be a hell of a lot more dangerous than maybe I expected. Maybe it's because the ones we saw before were maybe from the WWE style or level, and now we're seeing different ones here. But no lie, I don't know why, but it seemed really a hell of a lot more dangerous this time. And kudos to them, because, you know, they put it out there like that for sure.
Yeah, I always, not on the bull ropes, even the strap matches and stuff, anywhere they're connected like that stuff, I always wonder, like the chains or whatever it is. Like, I always get like, my mind's too is like, what is something like something's gonna catch? Like, there's a lot of room for disaster in these matches, and I like when I see these, I kind of look out for that too. And yeah, when Mason got body slammed, and I saw him get kind of tangled up in those ropes, it's like, oh god, you gotta watch it there, man. Like, you might unexpectedly choke yourself out or get caught. Where
yes,
yeah, even when Mason brings out the piano wire or whatever he uses to choke the wrestlers, like I always get like that's a thin slice. Like, I don't know, like he's so good at his character where like he even tweeted out today, like, oh, nothing makes me happier than taking my clothes my bloody clothes to the laundromat and dropping it off and seeing their reaction of like, what the hell happened? Like I just loved it. And I like the setup to the story. It's like a very easy story to tell. We got the rich, spoiled kid who thinks he deserves everything, and we're all slums because we don't have as much money as him. And then you got the one called Manders, just a hard worker, getting his own, like not worried about the money, but getting what needs to be done. And just a solid hard worker that's nothing's given to him. He's out there fighting and earning it. Like I just really kind of want to see these two lead JCW because like Manders, I think not that he would get lost in the shuffle, but it's just there's a lot going on where in GCW and he fits in with SGC, but I would like to kind of see him on his own, have a title, and kind of just carry the brand. Because I think watching this match, I was thinking like these two could carry and be the stars of JCW for a couple years, but even who knows, Mason's the way he's been killing it, he might go up and to the GCW events more often. And yeah, this was a fun one. They utilized the ropes. They utilized like, hey, I'm trying to run away. No, you're not. Get your ass back here, kind of thing. And there was a great storytelling match. Just the pacing of this match and the storytelling that they did was fantastic. I loved this one. Like I said, this one I was looking forward to, but bull rope match, as you said, like I've seen a couple of them where I'm like, I'd rather just see a regular match. But this one made sense, and it was very enjoyable.
Yeah, some of these bull rope style matches can be lame. We've seen some that they're. I think you were talking about how JCW, how you'd like to kind of put them in a main roster, main event kind of situation. I agree with you. I think at the minimum they're both solid spots.
Yeah,
and you have Mason, he's just so damn menacing, and you have Manders in this old school gimmick, and he does it so well. It's so rare to see a good cowboy gimmick, and he's so nice too. So he can play both roles really well. It looks like he has that kind of dynamic character, which is just fantastic. But out of this one, really, I just wanted to say, at least to both performers, that they use the rope and the ring really well here. They use leverage a lot really well. So, yeah, I say kudos a lot, but kudos to them, honestly, because they did a really good job here, and they made it look, and it was really dangerous.
Yeah, and I don't know how Mason does all these matches in his freaking suit still. Like, that's just impressive to me. And same thing, Manders. I don't know how he wrestles in cowboy boots. Like, I don't like some of these things are just incredible watches. Like, I could not do cowboy boots and I could not wrestle in a suit. Like, I'd right away just want to rip that thing off. But I think they got something special here with JCW where I know they don't do as many shows as often. It looks like now it's about maybe they're trying to do like once every other month or something like that. And same thing with LA Fights too. I think they got a solid enough roster. And yes, I know it's the independents and trying to get the schedules all in line and blah, blah, blah. But I think if like you plan it out where like they could have like free, since they are on YouTube and they're all free anyway, which is awesome because we get to see awesome wrestling and us from GCW for free on YouTube. So yes, thank you for that. But I just think I think it's time now. It's been almost a year, well, over a year for JCW, and LA Fights is about to hit a year, I think, coming up, where I would like to see more events from both companies of maybe once a month or once every other week, do one JCW show, one LA Fight show a month. And like now we're getting more GCW content and stuff like that. But as I said, for free. And obviously this one you're using kind of quote unquote your bigger names because of it being a actual GCW show and not the settlement series kind of thing. I just think like I want to see more being done with JCW and LA Fights, because this one was actually good because I liked all these gimmick matches. All the matches had a reason and a purpose and a big payoff. I want to see that more often, not once every 2-3 months. I would like to see it kind of continue, but I do like how they kind of feed into it during the GCW show sometime, where Mason will come in and go after a Manders or a Spider Nate Webb and stuff like that. So I just think like watching this one, I was like, this is like main event level. And you can say the same thing with Mance Warner and Slade, but Mance Warner's obviously more GCW, where Slade could be on JCW more so, or like I don't know. I think I know I'm not saying it right, but I think you understand what I'm saying. Like I want to see them get more of that time that's available to them.
Oh yeah. I know what you're saying. That's okay. So we'll get this out of the way because we are covering a heck of a lot here, and this is really good stuff. Our winner, Mr. Charles Mason. He choked out Manders with the rope until he passed out. I honestly thought that was a fantastic finish.
Yep.
And with the wrestling was satisfying enough in this one that I was still happy with the ending. And I was obviously not pro manners, but I was just happy. It was just really, again, it was just a satisfying amount of wrestling for almost 12 and a half minutes.
No shit. I was singing, Shuck 'em up, man. Just shuck 'em up based off of the Backyard Show still. No shit. I swear to God, that chant stuck with me. I was like watching him, like when he I think it was the same move you said when he slammed Mason through the ropes, and like you kind of see his neck kind of get caught with the ropes and the bull rope and stuff.
Yeah.
I was like, shuck him up, fucking that's what he gets. God damn it, Mason. Like, but for a heel to get that kind of emotion out of you, it's like, Mason's doing something right. He's killing it in these promotions too. Like House of Glory, he's killing it there, and he's having good matches. And I love seeing the growth of these two competitors. I want to see more of it. I want to see this kind of continue on, because it made Manders, this loss didn't hurt him because he didn't tap out, he didn't give up, he didn't lose. He got choked out by a foreign object during a match. So it's not like he gave up, his body failed on him. So I think that kept both of them looking strong, where Mason obviously probably needed that win still, and Manders doesn't take a bad loss where it's like, oh, he's coming off loss. Like, no, he got choked out. So it kept both competitors looking strong after this match, and I loved it. I love the ending. And that will lead us into the fourth matchup of the evening, as it is for another Extreme title, as it is for the GCW Extreme title, as Cole Ratty Daddy Radrick goes 1-on-1 with Alec Price. And yes, I was all in on this one. This was two competitors I want to see. I was all in at this point too. Like after those first three matches, I'm like, this show has actually been way better than I thought it would be. Played out and everything. So like my momentum, my excitement was going, and then this being the next match, I was all in for it. Looking forward to a nice, fun match. Cole Radrick, Alec Price. What were your thoughts on their match?
So I don't know if you have looked at the PWI 500. Have you looked at that or no?
Yep.
Okay. Mr. Alec Price ranked number 159. Fuck yes, someone gets it.
I didn't see that. I didn't see that one. Whoa.
Yeah, right between Rich Swann and Mark and Jay Briscoe. Alec Price. We need to get that boy on the main roster at GCW, because we need to see more. Something's going on there, man. And yeah, we're going to go over these rankings with your okay here at the end of the show. I was actually going to list who are AEW people, or people who have showed up in AEW in the last year that made the list. Did I say AEW?
Yes, you did, sir.
No shit, dude.
No, I love that tweet you did. That was such an awesome tweet. I wanted to talk about it too, but we could talk about it at the end, because I loved that tweet you did, because that just shows what GCW is doing for these wrestlers and for themselves, obviously, and these other companies providing these talents and getting them more exposure to get those higher rankings. I definitely want to go over that at some point at the end of this podcast.
You announced this next match, right?
Yep. Cole Radrick versus Alec Price. Mr. 151, right? Is that what you said? 151?
Yeah, he's rocking it. That surprised me.
Yeah, that's a shocking.
That really surprised me. Yeah, right underneath Mark and Jay Briscoe, no less.
That's impressive.
Wow. Yeah, so here we go. The good old 90s nostalgia. We were talking about ECW. Cole comes in with that fucking New Jack entrance. I was in true heaven. It was so nice. It was love. You see Cole coming out with all the weapons. He beats the shit out of Alec for like a solid 5 minutes. And I don't know if anyone had a chance to watch this or not, but hopefully you've watched it by now. But having the music kind of gives the impact more impact, if that makes sense. When somebody gets cracked with a fucking cane, it hurts and you see it. But when the music's going, there's like this hype live thing with it that feels so good. And then you're seeing people bobbing their heads in the crowd, and you're seeing the sound engineer back there bobbing his fucking head. Like, there's something cool about matching music and wrestling together when it's done right. And for some reason, I don't know if it's nostalgia, but this song has always kicked for me personally, and I always love it. And this one really hit home, and it was so fantastic to hear it.
Yeah, I loved it because I was there for Anarchy in the Arena, and like after that wild thing was playing for like the second or third time, everyone in the crowd's like, "What the hell's going on? Like,
Uh,
what is like?" But you have that so far back in your mind because there was so much going on. But as you said, that music adds a different vibe to it, and you just could tell that music and Cole Radrick was on something else this night. Like I think he channeled his inner New Jack because I love how he came out. He's like, "Oh, hold on, this is for the Extreme title. I forgot something." Brings out the trash can full of the goodies. Gets like, and I like how right away just went right in and plungered Alec Price right in the balls with the plunger. And we're not waiting for introductions and blah blah blah. Like I'm out here, we got the weapons, let's go at it. And right from the get go was boom, 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 and I loved it. I loved every piece of it. You can see Cole Radrick though, he was feeling himself, even doing the little dance and stuff like that. I like how he's out there now and getting more comfortable in himself with his skin and his character and enjoying the fans. Like I love, like this was such a, I'm even talking about right now. It's like the hot start, like at Anarchy in the Arena. The music's still playing. Hold on, the match started. Cut the music, and they still stayed on for a little bit longer, which is like not like it was fine. It was good for how long it did. There's Anarchy was way too long, but it just added a whole different vibe to the match. And like as you said, like when I was watching, I'm like, hey, stop the music. Oh, we're going Anarchy in the Arena style. Like I started like
yes.
I was watching it, like kind of pounding my fist and like, let's go, let's go. And it started off hot, and I kind of stopped though. What's called Ragic threw like the table at Alec Price on the outside and like hit that lady, the fan right there. I was like, yeah, yeah. Ooh, slow down, guys. Okay, slow down. Like, stop it all. Let's slow it down. And like, you should even say Cole Ragic kind of go over there, like, hey, you okay? I'm so sorry. Okay, let me go kick his ass again. So I loved it. This was such a fun match.
Yeah, it took. I was going to say 5-6 minutes before Alex starts taking over and really putting his offense there on Cole. Running cannonballs on the outs to the outside of the ring there when we see people sitting, that has become definitely a thing that they like to do now in GCW. I've seen in the past, I don't know, 2-3 months or so. Ladders, chairs, doors, a garbage can lid, a garbage can, plungers, a stick with a water bottle on the end were all some of the weapons that were used in this match. They were fantastic. Price has a fantastic Gotch-style power bomb. I just wanted to mention it because it was worth mentioning. Anybody who's a fan of his probably already knows about it. Anybody who isn't should probably go check that move out from him. I think that's all I want to say for a minute. I want to pass it back to you before I talk anything else because I want to say something kind of cool here once you're finished.
Yeah, Alec Price showed me something new. That's where like I was watching this match too, and I started thinking about the first 3 matches. I was like, hey, everybody that I've seen before has shown me something different tonight. They've shown me an evolution of their character, their moveset, something. They evolved, and I loved seeing that. And like I haven't watched a lot of Alec Price outside of GCW. I know he's very active outside of GCW. I think I've seen him on like a couple Beyond shows or something like that, but I don't think I've ever seen him actually use that Gotch power bomb, as you said. And when he hit that, I was like, oh my God, I loved it. Maybe he has used it and I just totally missed it, but this one stuck out to me as like the first time I seen it, or it just maybe looked way better than the rest because this was a fun, energetic, high pace. Boom, we're not waiting for the bell. We're attacking, fighting, and it made it feel like an extreme title match, which I love that Cole's doing that in these matches because obviously when you're the extreme title holder, you have to get extreme, and it's not always going to be thumbtacks, chairs, doors, plungers. Sometimes it might be in a scramble with a 1 door, 2 doors. So I just love the variance of how Cole Radrick's using this run as the extreme title holder and getting violent when he needs to, but also when he doesn't need to, having fun with it while defending that title. I like seeing Cole have fun. I like seeing wrestlers have fun in general, but Cole's like just on another run right now where you can see he's enjoying being the extreme title holder, and it means a lot to him in his performances in his match. You could kind of see it there too.
So, okay, so I'll go ahead and announce the winner, and then I'll kind of go into what I wanted to talk about. But yeah, there were great use of weapons. These two worked their asses off. The winner, Mr. Cole Radrick, retains. He stands on chairs. He picks up Alec and put a pile driver onto those chairs. It was a vicious little move. Both these guys earned their paychecks for the night. So here's what I kind of wanted to mention. I think we need to start realizing that Cole's defense of this title is a legit reign. We're looking at this now. This isn't just a passover, holding it for 2 shows until the next guy comes through. You know, he's defending it on every show. We've seen that now for months. He is taking that title to many other companies. We've seen that personally. And now he's taking that all over the world. If anybody has not had a chance to get on the Cole train, they might want to, the Cole train, they might want to get that soon, because honestly, they're seeing Cole right now in his peak, and we don't know how much higher he's gonna go, but where he's at right now is freaking fantastic. So I thought I just wanted to mention that real quick, that Cole's one of my guys, but I have my eyes on him enough to know when he's really shining, somebody better pay attention. And now's the time for new fans to maybe grab on and see what Cole's all about.
Yeah, and I think obviously everyone knows it, not just I think. It all started with that match with Orin Veidt where he dove into the deathmatch scene and came out and killed it there. But I think that just showed, like, that gave him the confidence. That crowd was like, hey, they really do like me. I don't have to, like, not go all crazy, but I don't have to, like, change anything. They like me for what I'm doing right now. I don't have to do something that's not my character. Like, he has not changed since that match, or since he's become the Extreme title holder. Like, nothing's really changed other than you see the enjoyment that he's having in the moments of these matches and enjoying what he's doing, enjoying who he's competing with, where he's competing. You just see the joy in his face, and that's, I think, giving him the confidence to go out there and ball out and not worry about, was that?
Bingo. That's the fucking word. His confidence. I've watched this guy now for quite a while. You can see it's because his confidence is so damn high. And it's fantastic to watch someone go from somewhere where they're kind of iffy and, and then to be justified for all their hard work. And this is his confidence showing, and he's just becoming a bigger star.
Yeah. Like, he doesn't look any before, he might have looked like, hey, if I got to hit this move clean or else they're going to boo me or they're going to give me shit, or, hey, I got to do this way, this things. Like, I have to do something that's not what I normally do to get over with the crowd. That's what I saw from him before this Orin Veidt match. And once he had that match with Orin Veidt, you could kind of see it's like, hey, they're cheering for me and all I'm doing is just deathmatch. Like, and I'm actually doing good. And they're cheering for me to go into like one of the premier deathmatch tournaments in the world. Like, that's how you know, like, hey, they love me, but I'm going to keep on doing me. I love how he didn't change either, because I've seen, like, let's say, I want to use this as an example, might even be a poor example, and it's not in a bad way because I love this new character, but it's Alex Zane, where Alex Zane, when he was in GCW, before he left for WWE, he was killing it. He was doing good, and then you see he went to the big company, or WWE, came back down, and when he came back to GCW, he was still doing what he did before, but he wasn't getting the reactions that he was doing before he left. And then you see, like, hey, we got Hammerstein coming up. It's the biggest show of the year. I'm on it. Hey, let's introduce a new gimmick, and it fits me more, where I'm going to be the most entertaining man in GCW and dressing all red and have the Taco Bell stuff, which he always has had anyway. But that flashiness of the red, I think that gave, like, once he had to go debut a new character, a new style to get over with the crowd, where Cole has a need to do it, didn't do anything. All he's done is show us, like, hey, I'm enjoying myself. I'm loving this. I'm having fun. I'm confident in what I'm doing. And I like how he didn't have to go and change everything to make it successful. Like, the success kind of came to him in one night. So, like, that just shows you how one good match could change an outlook of what that was in early January, I think. So over the course of this year, one match turned Cole into the Cole train, as we say now. I'm going to start calling that the Cole train. I like it. And giving him the confidence to just be on the run that he is right now. And I love seeing it. And I love seeing Cole happy, because you could tell he's really, really enjoying himself right now. For our fifth matchup of the evening, we have a last woman standing match as Sawyer Wreck, one-on-one against Kai. And yeah, I was waiting for a slobber knocker here, with these two just absolutely beating the shit out of each other, and seeing all the striking and the slapping, the loud slaps that Sawyer Wreck does, especially when she backhands other wrestlers. So yeah, this was going to be a slobber knocker for me. What was your opinions on this match?
Oh boy. Same thing. I was really expecting like a hard hitting fucking affair between these two, because Janai don't even know what any strike is outside of hard. Yeah. Like, she doesn't have a soft strike in her body. And Sawyer is so strong and has those long arms and long legs to where she's in a complete category of her own when it comes to the women's division. I mean, there isn't a women's division, but man, she is like on another level. This thing started with a handshake, so it was nice to see that it was going to be a little bit more of a friendly affair, quote unquote. Sawyer comes out strong. Janai's unable to move her. I put even in my notes, Sawyer is huge.
Yeah.
Janai eventually works down Sawyer, puts her into a vicious headlock. Both women are using a lot of strong strikes, no small punches or moves being displayed at all. I'm just noticing in my notes here, I had that GCW's ring was absolutely wrecked. I'm just now realizing like how much abuse that freaking ring has taken.
Yeah, I'd say about 90% of the blood on that mat's probably Mance Warner's from earlier in the night. But yeah, the same way, It's like funny seeing the ring, how it starts off nice and clean and what it turns into by the end of the night. Like I always pay attention to that, like during the deathmatch tournaments and stuff like NGI and TOS. I'm actually paying attention to the mat. It's like, oh, it looks nice and clean. And then after the first match, it's like, okay, that ring's wrecked, so we're not going to be using that one no more after this night. But yeah, this was a good one. And I'm actually not kind of glad. I'm very glad they kept all the fuckery out of this. Like there was not really chairs, doors, and all that stuff. It was just a straight on one-on-one women's match, last woman standing, and I loved that part of the aspect of this match because yes, we've seen Sawyer Wreck and what she could do in the death match, and a little bit of what she could do when it's not a quote-unquote death match. It still kind of gets extreme, and I think that's because I don't know exactly how long she is, but like to me, she still looks like she's new and kind of learning on the job, but she's like learning quickly on the job, and definitely has a look to earn the right to learn on the job and be as fast of improving her in-ring ability. So I think that why they do some of that extreme stuff with the death matches to kind of hide that stuff, where this match she didn't have to hide anything because this was a nice solid, just a straight, like I thought this, like I picture it as like a MMA match, kind of just, hey, we're not doing anything, we're going to keep it inside, we're going to just beat the living shit out of each other. And I'm just so glad that there weren't any weapons involved to kind of skew what might have happened during this match.
You know, funny thing, my note to really wrap this up was good to see Sawyer in a real wrestling match. I needed to see this. I think the fans need to see this too. She can take a hit. She can take punishment. She can give out punishment. But we need to see if she could do all the fundamentals and if she could actually entertain us without the use of bleeding or a chair or a weapon. Now, there was a chair just shortly for a little while in this one, but that really had a limited impact compared to what most weapons would be used in a basic GCW, JCW situation. But my next note had to do with the announcer because I didn't know. But yeah, our winner, Sawyer wrecked via countout. Choke slams Janai onto chairs. This was a very quick 8-minute match. Honestly, it was like an inhale between exhales. I couldn't think of a better way to put it, but that's what I have to say about this one. Really, it was just nice to see Janai come out there and kick ass, and it was nice to see Sawyer solidify herself as somebody who's really worth a damn in GCW.
Yeah, and I like too. This was like I think the first time I've seen Janai Kai go up against another woman that's bigger than her, because normally Janai Kai is the monster that with that look and the badass, where this was kind of a change of pace for her. And I think like for both women, this was one of their better matches I've seen with both of them, because they brought it in a more, like I said, realistic kind of setting. Yes, the chair got involved, but it wasn't the whole match like a key focus on, hey, we need to get this door, this chair, this table. Like it was constantly of, let's focus on our striking and like the MMA kind of jiu-jitsu and stuff like that. And I love seeing that because Janai Kai, like she got that, like, I forgot what it's called. I should know the name of it, where she had Sawyer Wreck underneath like one arm, but then wrapped her other arm around her body and grabbed it for extra leverage to pull on. Like she does that move often, and I like seeing it. And it looked really good against Sawyer Wreck because Sawyer Wreck's so tall. You could kind of see when you hear the announcers always talking about bring your opponent. If they're bigger, bring them to the ground. Everyone's the same size. And like, I kind of like saw it in that move. It's like, hey, Sawyer Wreck is out. Like she's taller than Janai Kai, but in this situation, they're both on the floor. Janai has the advantage and they're all the same size on the ground. I love just that part of that hold, because it looked really good in this situation, in this match. But overall, very, very entertaining match. I loved seeing the intensity that both women had. And Sawyer Wreck continues her wreckage in the JCW GCW ring, and she picks up another win over Janai Kai. That will lead us into our sixth matchup of the evening, as Janai Kai's other half, Yoya, goes 1-on-1 with Speedball Mike Bailey in a martial arts match. And once I read the martial arts match, I was into all this night. Like, this whole night was actually, I was expecting a fun show, but it actually did way better than my expectations every match almost. And martial arts match between Speedball and Yoya, I was all in for it, and wanted to see what Yoya could do with Speedball, since Yoya's obviously at a size disadvantage. But the little fucker could go. Like, he's the shooter.
Yeah.
That's when we were talking. I remember we were talking a couple episodes ago, and I could not think of the name that they could call, like, the Yoya had. It was a shooter weight. It was a shooter weight because he's like a shoot style wrestler.
Yeah.
So, like, him against Speedball, I was all in on this martial arts match. What was your thoughts on this match?
My thoughts are, I love the freaking ninjas, dude.
Yep.
So, I don't know if it was the kid in me or whatever, but I love the ninjas. You know, Bailey comes out. I think Yoya comes out and just kind of goes through him, but Bailey comes out and he turns around and bows to the ninjas. The ninjas all bow to him. It was creative. It was a lot of fun. The match kind of starts. They start with a bow and a handshake between the both of them. Kumite and "you're the best around" chants start breaking out with the crowd, so it become a very Karate Kid style crowd really quick. Both people go into like double cranes at one point, but they go to the outside and they start to fight the ninjas, and they have to fight each other because it was a lumberjack style match. But I wrote down here, this is great. I was really having fun with everything that was going on here. Lots of similar moves. It was really a good match, like back and forth, how they were, just going. Bailey, great top rope. God, I'm like winded here. But the Yoya chants, great. Bailey, great top rope outside moonsault onto the ninjas. It was kind of fun watching them hit and they all fall down.
Yep.
It almost felt like the ninjas gave more impact. I don't know how that made sense, but it was kind of cool. Like he tope off and then boom down, and then you see like 6 ninjas just boom onto the ground, and I don't know.
And when I first saw the ninjas, I immediately thought this would have been a cool spot where if that Slade and Mance Warner match was near the end of the night, this could have been like the match right before that match, where you have a super tall ass ninja who kind of doesn't get involved, but you kind of just still see in the background that nobody, like, they look up at him, they're like, okay, I'm not messing with them, and then they just go on to the next ninja, and then that Hoodfoot could have stayed in that ninja mask and stayed out there for the next match, and you kind of see Slade like look at him like, who the hell, like, what are you doing? And then that's where Hoodfoot could have unmasked and stuff. Like, that's my original thought when I was thinking, like, oh, this would have been the perfect spot to kind of do the surprise thing with Hoodfoot. But this match was fun. I loved how they kept the Karate Kid kind of style. The whole match started off like that, and Speedball's always like that anyway. Yoya, not so much. Yoya's just the one, like, I'm just gonna shoot on you, take you to the ground, grapevine you, and just have my way with you on the ground. Where Speedball does the kicks, does the whole, like, the handshake and the bowing down and stuff. So this was fun. They both, like, are super fast paced. Like, he is small, compact, and he's just as fast as, if not faster than Bailey. And Bailey with those kicks, when he does those Speedball kicks, it's like, this was a fun it kind of felt like a little movie scene kind of too. That's where I was kind of getting into it. Once the ninjas got involved, I was kind of seeing I felt like I was in a ninja movie watching, like, what was that movie? 3 Ninjas that came out, except with 2 ninjas here. So
3 Ninjas.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. So I had to go deep into my playbook for that one.
Yeah, and it started off with actual, like, they tried to do like karate chops and shit in the beginning, which was hilarious. At the end of this all, we had both guys chants. So, the ninjas added a lot to me. I was really having fun with it. I don't know what made it fun. It just was fun. It was just highly interactive.
I think what made it fun to me is because, like, I didn't know how much the ninjas would affect the match as lumberjacks. I mean, once they stood out there, I'm like, okay, are they on someone's side? Is someone paying them? Is this like Charles Mason way of paying people off to go beat up Speedball and Yo-Yo? I was just wondering where it was going to go to it, where it went. I'm glad, like, just having Speedball and Yo-Yo take out all the ninjas was awesome and fun seeing, but yeah, this was entertaining. I would want to see these I want to see these in just a regular one-on-one matchup now, because I think these two could put on a crazy, super high intensity match that could show off a lot of striking skills and the Yo-Yo's ground game too, because we haven't seen much of Mike Bailey's ground game. Other than I see him use, I think like that Navarro special, I think he called it, the crazy like sharpshooter, figure four, ankle lock, like that move. I want to see more what Speedball can do on the ground, because I've literally seen him do everything else in the ring. I would like to see more of a ground-based style to kind of see more of what he can do on the ground. But Speedball is top 5 right now. For me, he's my second favorite wrestler, because he's just like Joey Janela. I don't think I've seen a bad match from him, and like they are all formulaic, but he tells such a great story, heel, face, with everything during the matches, and it just every Speedball match to me feels important when I'm watching it, and that's why I think I kind of like him, because it gives me a reason to get invested into these matches. And I don't know what it is, what he's doing different. Like I can't put my finger on it, but he is doing something that's making me come back and watch him. So of course I want to see more Speedball against Yo-Yo, and hopefully the near future in a GCW ring.
You know, you're right. He has this invisible it. I don't know what it is, but you know, you see this fantastic you know, he got the fantastic smile. He's got the great music. He comes out and he has a fantastic moveset, the whole 9. What's missing? Microphone. Dude needs to grab a microphone now, because he's so damn likable. What's left? If not a microphone, get the guy a damn mouthpiece in the way of a manager, because he needs it. That's all that's left to propel him to probably close to the top of GCW. I don't see why he couldn't go further.
Yeah, I once you said that, I was like, I've never heard Speedball talk other than what he's done in the ring. Or like, I just love his facial reaction with Jordan Oliver, like at the Joey Janela Spring Break Part 2, like when they went against each other, and like Speedball's on the top rope and they all just do the Speedball chants, and then Jordan's in the background doing his Young, Dumb, and Broke chants, and like how loud it got, and you just see Speedball just turn looking at him like, whoa, you got a nice fan base. That was good. Do it again. Like he has that charisma that, as you said, like we just now need to see it and hear it more, because the only time I've really heard him talk is on his Twitch streams. Like, and I'm not a big Impact wrestling watcher, so maybe he's talks on Impact. I don't know. I'm just starting to get back into Impact because of Speedball, to be honest with you. Ever since he became X Division champion, I want to go out and see more of him and seeing what he's doing, especially with the Impact roster and stuff like that. So I haven't really heard him talk other than the Twitch streams, but I know he's kind of like the soft-spoken, like quiet, but like the vocabulary too. Like he's a very intelligent man from what I've seen on Twitch, and I would like to see him use it more in a GCW ring on the microphone and stuff like that.
Well, it's not like he isn't talking on the Twitch stream and whatnot. I had a chance to talk with him out here in Las Vegas, as kind and as nice as can be. I did not hear or have any notification or indication whatsoever that there isn't a reason why that boy couldn't talk. Well, boy to me, but yeah, why he couldn't talk, because he seems quite capable. Again, intelligent, polite, you know, smart enough to know to be polite. Nice guy. So I really wish, because what's left? What's left for us to see? That, I mean, we're just missing that.
I think what's left of what I want to see, that's where I was going to lead for my next point. He's on the very short list of people that I want to see go against Moxley right now.
Yeah.
Just the styles and how I think that would be just a violent match. Like I think it'd be similar, but at a higher, more fast-paced match than what Speedball had against Suzuki. I can see a lot of the storytelling, the strikes, and going back and forth and just beating the shit out of each other. But of course, it being more Moxley, who's obviously younger and more active than Suzuki. Where I think in Speedball, like that was another thing I was gonna say with his matches. Like there's not a slow point where we catch our breath and stuff. We saw it a little bit in the Kylie Ray match, but I think that was perfect for that match, because their facial reactions, the way they sell the moves, and the storytelling was perfect for them to slow down that match. Where every other Speedball match I've seen, it's go, go, go. And I think that's what I love to see. I want to see the in-ring action. I don't want to see 5 rest holds, 6 rest holds. I know there's storytelling involved with all these holds and techniques and stuff, but like I prefer my style of wrestling when I watch is the go, go, go. And Speedball is that for me. And him against Moxley was like, there's like 4 wrestlers I think right now that could go against Moxley for the GCW title, not named Nick Gage, that makes sense to me, where as much as they've won lately and the impact that they're doing and how good they've been in the ring, it's Mike Speedball. I think Mance Warner should be the next person. Then I think Joey Janela. Then I think I would like to see Jordan or Speedball go at it, because like all four of those could put on a great match with Moxley. All four have logistic reasons to go up against the belt and not just talking about it on the
Wow.
microphone and talking their way into the match. Like those are the four I would like to see. And to me, Speedball is the most intriguing because of the matchup styles. But I think if it's Mox against Joey, it's going to be a crazy fuckery match. Mox against Jordan be a nice, good, solid match, but I think it might end up the same way as Blake versus Moxley went, because Jordan kind of has a similar moveset. Who was the other one I said? Oh my God, who was the other one? Mance Warner and Moxley, those two, like those would mesh well together. But Speedball against Moxley would be two very different styles that I would definitely want to see.
Our winner, Mr. Mike Bailey. Good old Speedball pulled it off here. He basically just kicked the shit out of Yo-Yo. Yeah. So I basically didn't have my notes there for anybody who's listening. I just didn't have a note for how the finish went on. And sometimes
driver. That's all.
Is that what? Yeah.
It's a flamingo driver. That's all that needs.
But so this match finishes out. Everybody's happy. This is very it's very cordial between the two. It's loving. We all know that there are no enemies here. And then the ninjas come in after the match and they surround both men. All of a sudden you see powder blown into Bailey's face. Bailey's beaten first. You see Yo-Yo kind of standing there, but there's still a bunch of ninjas standing around Yo-Yo. Watching the beating, I originally thought that maybe Yo-Yo had something to do with all the ninjas, because you were seeing just one ass beating going on, not two. But eventually then the ninjas go ahead and they start beating up on Yo-Yo too. Yo-Yo starts cleaning house, kicks the crap out of all the ninjas. One ninja remained, one lone ninja.
This motherfucker.
So that ninja turns around, Yo-Yo comes up to him, blows powder in Yo-Yo's face, and starts beating up Yo-Yo. The ninja pulls off his mask. It's Charles fucking Mason. Mason comes out again and surprises everyone. He has a problem with Yo-Yo for sure.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Once I saw him turn around and blow the powder into his face, I'm like, that's fucking Mason. I know it. Like, why?
I saw the walking around. I saw the walking in the ring afterwards, because he kind of has a walk,
a little strut. Yeah, that can't get rid of him, man. But that's what makes him so fucking good. And like, I think they, as you said, they need to capitalize on that, because to get that emotion, I had my mouse in my hand. I think when I saw it, I was like reading an article or something. I was like, oh,
your mouse in your hand?
Yeah, my actual mouse in my hand, my keyboard and mouse. I had my mouse in my hand. Like, I think I was reading something on one screen, and then like I think I was going through Twitter, like reading what was about that match, and then I saw like the ninjas come in. I'm like, oh, they're just gonna steal it and whatever. Then I look and I saw like just one with Yo-Yo, and I was like, powder. Oh, and I threw my mouse down. I was like, it's got to be Mason. This asshole's just everywhere. But that's what we want to see. That's what, like, it just creates a better product with, you have a very hateable heel that's going to get the heat no matter what. And no matter who they're going against, that person's going to get the shine and face and get the cheers for him. So Mason's doing a very good job. They're doing a very good job booking Mason too. Like, I like how he's kind of is now. Before I said he was stuck on Everett Connors and Charlie Evans forever, where now it seems like, okay, he's moving on. He did his manager's match. That's over. Now he's back to Yo-Yo. And I loved seeing Yo-Yo destroy all the ninjas too, because it threw me back into the backyard wrestling match where Yo-Yo went on the body slamming spree of slamming all the big guys on the team. Then he turned around, started body slamming his own teammates and body slamming the ref. Like, I love Yo-Yo when he gets in that zone. He's just like the unstoppable zone. It's just like, get out of his way. You don't know who he's going to go after, and he doesn't know who he's going to go after. So I would like to see them do that one time with like Janai Kai there, and like Janai Kai's like, hold up, you ain't going to body slam me. Calm down.
I would love to see them push the shit out of Yo-Yo to the degree where maybe at one of the big shows, Marco Stunt shows up and goes, what the fuck? Yeah. Wait, now you're the new guy, huh?
Yeah.
You're the guy that everybody loves? Let me remind you who they really love.
Giant versus Giants. Let's see it.
Absolutely. Yeah, man.
But Mike Bailey, Yo-Yo, mixed martial arts match. Very fun, entertaining match. And Charles Mason, you're still an asshole. On to matchup number 7. Like, we're not gonna he's not gonna get the lovable asshole like Tony Deppen has, though. He's gonna just be like the absolutely purely hated asshole.
Well, he's allowed to fuck up storylines, just not my favorite storylines.
Right?
See.
All right, match number 7. We have a Lucha Extrema tag team match as Los Macizos, Ciclope and Medio Extremo go against Wasted Youth, which is the team of Dylan McKay and Marcus Mathers. And of course, Los Macizos, I was already in. It didn't matter. But seeing it against Dylan and Marcus Mathers, I think I didn't even know about this match until we did that last podcast when you said it. I was like, wait, who are they going against? They're going against Dylan McKay and Marcus Mathers? Like, yes, because that's just, to me, another version of Nick Wayne and Jordan Oliver, except a little bit more not as polished, not as a what's it called? Not like experienced tag team as Jordan and Nick Wayne were. And so I was obviously hoping for a very similar match to what we saw at LA with those two teams. And Dylan McKay and Marcus Mathers stepped up. And I can't say anything more like other than like they stepped up, because this would have been a tough match. And Marcus, holy shit. Marcus was like one of those ones like, hold on, I'm in the ring with the Macizos. Let me stay in the ring. Give everything to me. I want to just be in there with them. And I loved it. I loved how Dylan McKay and Marcus Mathers stepped it up. And I loved how Los Macizos like didn't slow down. They kept it on them the entire time. This was a very fun Lucha Extrema tag match. What was your opinions on this match?
Okay, so this was kind of interesting here. I have watched Los Macizos ever since they've got back. I think I've watched every match since they've gotten back. When they first came back, you were excited. Like, you're like, oh my gosh, Los Macizos. For me, I didn't know much at all. I can honestly say now I 100% get them. I didn't before. I now have your same excitement watching them come out. They're just freaking fantastic. Solid. That's the best word I could put. Solid. If you needed a tag team to go out there and do something, they'll freaking do it. Jump off of there, do it. Break this, do it. Go over here, you know. Oh, God. I don't know what boundaries they have, but I haven't seen where it is yet.
Yeah. Like I said, like you go out and have a death match during a tournament against each other and beat the shit out of each other. And how about you throw a brick at your brother's head too? How about we just throw on that in the match? And they do it. Like, doesn't matter what kind of match you want them in. They have. I was skeptical of them without being a death match, because like before they left and took the kind of, well, not took a hiatus, but weren't wrestling for GCW for a couple of years. I only saw the deathmatch versions of them. I didn't know how they could do against let's say Jordan and Nick Wayne. And like, that was one of the first matches where it was kind of like, hey, we're not that wasn't a death match or extreme kind of style, even though they incorporated their own chairs and tables into it. It was more a realistic, normal 2-on-2 tag match. And I thought that was my moment watching them in that match, was like, oh, they could go without the fuckery or any of that stuff. They could make do as a regular tag team. And they kind of showed it in like the scramble matches where they were kind of in, and they're just fun. And I know when Brett made the announcement, I got a huge announcement, and then like he said Los Macizos are back, and everybody was kind of like, really, that's your big announcement? You had all these other things you could have done, but that's your big announcement? And I was just like, for me, I was on the opposite side. I'm like, yeah, Los Macizos are back. And like, because it's been, like I said, I've only seen a little bit of them, but it was in the death match, and they have gone above what I wanted them to do since they've been back. And yeah, this was fun. And Marcus and Dylan, I loved how, like, I going to keep saying they stepped up, because this was a big step up for them, and they definitely did it. And once again, another fun and entertaining Los Macizos tag match. And I'm kind of glad like you're liking them more and more people are seeing, because like, I'm not saying like I knew all this was day one. I knew the violence and the craziness was there, but I didn't know that they could be hysterical on commentary. I didn't know they had the crowd behind them that much. I didn't know they could go without it being a tag extreme lucha match or lucha extrema match. I thought they just needed the deathmatch wrestling, and no, they could go no matter what you put them in. They have succeeded, as we've seen with Effie in the settlement series. You put him in as a Supreme Court pussy, he's going to kill it and knock it out of the park. And I love seeing other people enjoy Los Macizos as much as I do, because like I said, it's even for me a big surprise.
Well, it's they're versatile. I think that's the best way to maybe put that. But from the beginning here, I was really expecting a great match. I was laughing because Ciclope was fighting with the mask that he came out. And then he's literally fighting with it. You can see him kind of trying to make sure he can see out the eye holes and shit. Eventually he throws the damn thing off. We're getting great lucha chants from the crowd. Minute 4, we have chairs. Minute 5, we have ladders. Minute 6, we have doors come in. There were doors on chairs on doors like a fucking cake built on the outside of the ring. It was fantastic. I wrote here probably 7 minutes in that Marcus had taken probably 90% of the offense and he was bleeding really good. Dylan was fresh as a daisy. He comes in, had a nice lion salt on a ladder. 8 minutes in, Miedo starts bleeding really good. Probably 14 minutes into the match here, we go back to Mathers really winning it again. I really want to say Tremont has created an absolute gem in Mathers. I see Mathers being picked up by a major company. It's only a matter of when. He's got the face, he's got the body, he's got the whole shebang. I really hope he doesn't get banged up in matches like these and screw up his face or screw up something major to where when it's time for him to be in his prime, he's having a hard time, getting in the ring. So I really hope he protects himself, and I really hope he understands that he may be sitting on $1 million car, and I hope he treats himself as such. But it took about 12 minutes in this. No, you know what? I know you want to say something there, so I'll stop for a second. Is there anything you wanted to say about that at all?
I was just going to say, I agree with the Marcus Mathers thing, because I know when he had his quote-unquote death match, but, crazy match at the Backyard Wrestling with Jimmy Lloyd, where he kind of got busted up and was bleeding and did the what's it called spot, the needle through the mouth. So I think he did it to Jimmy still, but like I remember seeing a couple other people say the exact same thing you did. It was like, hey, like he's still so young, he doesn't need to do this and stuff like that. And I'm one of these people. It's like, if he's enjoying it and he's not being forced to do this, like if that's what he wants to choose, let him do it and have fun, because he did pretty good in that death match. He's obviously a more normal style wrestler, and he's very awesome at that, as you said, like, and he's still so young, where it's like, let them do what they want to do. Like, he's not being like, it's not like he's not trained going in there. He's freaking trained by Matt Tremont. So if Matt Tremont trusts him to do death matches, like, let the guy do death matches. He obviously knows what other person is going to make that decision better than Tremont or Nick Gage, Yeah. So like, I'm the same way with it, but I prefer seeing him not do that. Yeah. Because like, I don't like to, I'm trying to get more away from it too, after especially seeing Los Macisos and Alex Colon. Like, I'm enjoying seeing these quote unquote deathmatch wrestlers not do death matches and do regular matches, because you get to see a different style than we normally see. And when it's like Marcus Mathers, or like even when Cole did it, I never saw Cole do like really a death match until he did that match with Orin Veidt. But I heard like, hey, he's done maybe 1 or 2. I'm like, oh, okay. Like, I know he's crazy, but does he really need to do the death match? But you saw how good he did. And like, I think the world saw how good he did. It's like, why would, if he's enjoying it and he wants to do it and he's that good at it, why are we going to tell people not to do it, even though they don't need to? I 1000% agree. It's like, it's very interesting where I'm trying to get rid of that thought of, okay, he's a deathmatch wrestler, they're a regular wrestler, I don't want to see them cross paths running. Now it's like, I don't mind seeing a Marcus Mathers doing it, even though I prefer to see him in a regular setting. Or Los Macisos, oh, I would like to see them in a regular tag match without the fuckery. It's like, I just like seeing all these different styles go together now. And Marcus Mathers, I agree. I think he's actually even way better not doing the death matches, obviously, but I think he's got a bright future. He's one of those ones with Nick Wayne and Titus Alex. Titus is the one I'm always gonna like. I think he's even more ready right now than Nick Wayne. And as we've seen in these next one of these shows we're gonna cover, the last LA show just happened this last weekend. Like, I think Titus has put him and Nick Wayne are close, and I would love to see them just have a lifelong feud of, like, kind of like how Triple H and The Rock did. It's like, hey, you both came up at the same time. You both kind of got the same pass. And I could just see Titus like, why did you only got that because of your dad's name and stuff like that? Nick Wayne's like, well, your dad was a wrestler too, but he wasn't good enough. You could use his last name. I just see like a lot of different story angles that could last years with those two. And I can't wait. And Marcus Mathers is another one where he's going to have a very bright future in, or he has a bright future coming up as well. So I love seeing Marcus Mathers kind of get bloody and dive into this one. And same with Dylan McKay, like seeing him bloody was kind of a shock to me too, that bad, because I've never really seen him get like that. I know he's crazy, but he seemed to enjoy himself too, getting all bloodied by Los Macisos. So that's why I kind of saw this, like they were just excited to be in there with Los Macisos. We're like, hey, yeah, I don't mind. Go ahead, bust me up. I'm in here with you guys. Let's have fun with it. So it's fun seeing the guys just have fun.
Yeah, this thing took like 12 minutes for Wasted Youth to get in some offense.
Yeah.
It's just a total ass beat. And I mean, the kids are young, so they can kind of take it. But man, it was vicious on that end. All four men were back on their feet around the 14-minute spot, and they started facing off with each other. Turned into a spot fest between minutes 14 and 15. Dylan gets put through those two doors and chairs, that cake that I was talking about earlier, via a splash mountain, which is primarily a razor's edge. The Macizos beat the shit out of Mathers. There's no better way to put it. Mathers earned his paycheck that day. And the other thing I wanted to also mention real quick was the fact that you were talking about how you want to see a lot more of these death matchers wrestle. That's because I think you've kind of matured along as a wrestling fan and you're focusing on quality.
Yeah.
I think that's what it is.
I've noticed that myself too. Like, and I'm kind of consciously trying to grow as a fan because, like I said, I just got into this indie scene a year and a half ago. So all of this stuff is new to me. I'm loving it. I love every minute of it. But every once in a while, I see myself go into like my old wrestling fan was like, that's stupid. Why would you do this? So it's like, hey, it's not stupid for some other fans. Let them enjoy it. It might not be for me, but I don't got to shit on it. I could just, okay, was it for me? Good job. You guys did a good job.
Yeah.
But like, I'm trying to mature myself in all these different ways and thinking, and I'm still like, hey, that's part of life, like growing, maturing. I'm going to have a thought here today where next time I'll go like, hey, I'm wrong. Like I did with the Extreme title. Like when we were talking about it, I went back and watched a lot of AJ Gray's run before Cole got it. And I was just like, yeah, I didn't give AJ Gray enough of his run. I think it's because we didn't see him for that long a time, and that kind of made it sour in my head. But it's like, no, I was wrong. He's doing all the same stuff Cole was doing. He was doing the crazy death matches. He was doing an awesome one-on-one match against ACH with no tears, none of that stuff. I wouldn't even say that wasn't a pure rules match. I think he had a match with Gresham, but that was a pure rules match. And I don't know if he was the Extreme title holder at that time or not, but like I kind of didn't give AJ Gray enough credit for his run as the Extreme title, and like that's where one of the next days I was like, nope, I'm wrong. So it's just growing. It's just life. It's just humans. You got to grow and admit when you're wrong and keep on evolving, and that's the only way. Anything and everything's gonna get better. So I will mess up. I will absolutely mess up, but hopefully I'm matured enough to catch myself, or if someone informs me that I'm wrong or I have a bad opinion, I could be mature enough to think about it and make a good conscious decision, not just try to appease everybody or think I'm the one that my own thoughts matter. So like I'm trying to evolve. So hopefully I can keep on evolving as a fan.
You can do it, man.
That's tough sometimes though.
No, that's fine. Everything is so short term that it's hard to remember things from even a year ago. That's okay. So this kind of goes in with just an interesting little thing, but with the lack of storylines, all you can kind of remember are spots. And after a while, the spots kind of mold together in your head and it's hard to remember. So people, maybe some don't understand that the storylines are really, really what's memorable. I mean, everybody remembers, it could be a Stone Cold angle, it could be a Rock angle, but the point is, it wasn't because the wrestling match was great. It was because the story they were telling. So I'm really hoping we do get more stories, because these stories are what solidify these wrestlers in the company. I'm trying to think of a better way to put it, but without those storylines, when you go back to ECW, what is there to, what else are you going to talk about? There's some great matches here and there, but we have so many good matches in GCW. They really all do some kind gel together, and we need that storyline to kind of separate them from each other. Like, here's a good one. Name the last storyline you remember from GCW. Give it to me off the top of your head, just for fun.
Jordan Atticus.
Okay. There you go.
December.
Okay, and the last one off of my head, I would say would be Cardona. The whole Cardona situation with Moxley, I think it was.
Blake.
Or it was no. It was this was Gage. Gage and Moxley.
Yeah, because that's why I'm kind of wondering how Cardona's going to fit into this Nick Gage Moxley match, because we haven't seen Cardona get involved with Moxley other than when Moxley beat Cardona for the belt as a surprise. So I'm interested to see what happens with that at Fight Club. See if they kind of make a little callback where Cardona costs Moxley the belt, even though it helps Nick Gage. I don't know. There's a lot of stuff, but no, I 1,000% agree with you because the storylines as what gets us invested. Like you hear me just right now, just like, oh fuck, it's Charles Mason again. Like that's the emotion companies want from these fans. Like they want the this asshole or oh it's this guy I want to cheer for him because he's going to beat the shit out of Mason. Like the storylines is what gets us emotionally involved in it, which makes us want to spend the money to go to the shows to finally get like a ending to what we're involved in and stuff like that, and like it just adds more in. As you said, yes, we can see 15 cool matches, and I think that's GCW puts on dream cards. Like you're not seeing these matches in any other companies because it's all these other companies working together with GCW to put on these matches. So like they always can kill it with these dream lineups on a weekly basis, and I think that's where they do an excellent job with it. But I would like to see, as you said, a little more storyline here, a little more storyline there. And yes, it is tough. It's the indies. It's, as you said, week by week shit changes. But I just like, they have enough of a regular crew or a semi-regular crew where they could be pushing some of these stories. Because I, from what I've seen fans online too, like I don't engage with them too much because I get it, but it's to each own fan. But like a lot of people are saying like they haven't felt invested in GCW since Ricky Shane Page going against Nick Gage. And that was a 2-year storyline. So like it can be done, obviously, like, but I think they're missing a lot of other people getting emotionally involved and getting more into it because of the lack of storylines.
And again, this is a depth issue because here we are again talking about the fact that if someone would have listened here, a lot more of the fans would have appreciated Los Macizos returning if there would have been a video package during the intermission. If we would have just had something there, people like me could have went, holy shit, these guys are good. And then when they come out, I fucking pop with all the guys who do know all this stuff about GCW. I would have loved to have watched this with you and been just as excited in your living room as you would have been.
Yeah,
like that would have been so cool. So this is another one where it's a matter of depth. I'm hoping we think about this more to where, again, we can get these video packages in intermission to where this can catch up people on what they missed a year and a half ago. This can catch up the new fans on some of these newer performers. This can catch up people on the storylines if there are any. Grab your damn phone and shoot a fucking video. I literally did it with someone else in a parking lot 2 days ago.
Yeah.
2 days ago, I literally shot a 5-minute promo with a guy in the parking lot, hooks it up on his computer, boom. Come on.
And that's what they were doing with Jordan and Atticus. Like after
I'm so negative. I'm so sorry. But...
No, it's not negative. It's just saying what you feel. Like I agree with you because like even Jordan and Atticus's storyline, like what made me stay on is because it wasn't just what happened in the ring. They would do like right afterwards. Atticus was like, fuck Jordan. Don't compare me to these young pillars. They ain't young pillars. They're not deathmatch wrestlers. I am. It was a quick, boom, 2-minute online video. There, the story's extended. It's out there for people to watch, to get involved, to get invested. And then Jordan responded like right after he got like, I think he got curb stomped onto a steel chair with barbed wire on it, and he's all bloodied up. And you see him like after the match at the UCC, they go into the parking lot, and like I think it was him and Nick Wayne are both cutting a promo like on Atticus and saying, "You could have been one of us, man. You could have been one of us and helped this company grow, but you really showed us what a coward you are." Stuff. It's just like it's just quick 2-minute promos, just something simple like that will extend a story, and that could be done throughout the week. Throughout 2 weeks, if there's 2 weeks in between a show, like that's why I kind of like Everett Connors, his quick little minute-long videos in his car. There we go. Here's a reason to come watch this match. I don't like this guy. Blah blah blah. Yep. Yeah, and like it doesn't take time away from in ring. You can do it in ring for everybody, or boom, do a little social media. And like I said, we said before, there's guys like Tony D, Ivan Fire J. There's the video creators out there doing it for free, for fun, and to help their own stuff out there. Yeah, exactly, for the love of it. And they're out there doing it without a reason. Like maybe kick these little people 50, 100, but I don't know how much they charge or how much whatever, but hey, make a little cool video where, as you said, we could post it on our intermission. Or hey, go outside with John Carlo was always out there, like with Cardona and Chelsea after every card. They'd be out there and talking and stuff like that. Like it's a simple thing that's like I don't understand. There's a lot that I probably don't understand why, and obviously that's why I'm not the booker. I don't have the money for it. It's easy to play with other people's toys and money, but I just feel the same way as you do. Like it's such a simple 2-minute process. Like Jordan, when he cuts his to bring VXS, when he was doing all his matches for VXS, like he's just chilling outside, I think of his house or in the alley somewhere, just sitting outside, just cutting a promo, quick 2-minute video, cutting a promo on Brian Cage or whoever he's going against in VXS, and boom, it's done. It doesn't have to be great quality. It's on a cell phone. It gets the job done, and that gives us a reason and an investment to go into these shows. And I agree with you. I think I've really missed the video packages. I think that's why they got so hot right before Hammerstein. Hammerstein, because they were doing the video packages for every wrestler, every single match, and everybody was invested for these matches. Where after Hammerstein, all that shit kind of went away, and I think we've seen a lack of it. Yeah, absolutely, the fans notice, and I don't know. Like, obviously, there must be a reason they could do it. Like, who knows? I just think there is ways around it where you could get a lot more progression of these storylines or get fans more invested in these matches instead of just, oh, I saw an awesome dream match. Like, but yeah, imagine if there was a reason for the dream match, like how much more invested these people would be in.
The biggest point right there. What if there was a reason for the goddamn dream? Think about that. We talk about some of these old WCW, ECW, WW. You know, one of the first things we usually talk about is what went on that created that, or, you know, we go through specific matches to look for things. But again, there's that story that just, dude, I can't make it anymore. Fans are out there. I don't give a damn. Fans are out there saying, look, we need stories to be more invested, because what separates the Detroit show from the fucking Boomton show?
It's the elf, man.
What separates
the
fucking elf? Yeah, but I mean, what separates it really? And we need to think about that. And if you can't think of a storyline from far enough to that back, and I can't think of one from as far back as say that, what does that say about the last 3 months? And what does that say about the last 3 months for the guys that have been busting their ass? And they're putting on much better quality shows than some of the average ECW stuff you'd see.
Oh, yeah.
So they can't say that either. But again, like I said, everybody has a phone. Dude, pick it up. Most of these guys in the indies need to practice anyway if they want to go up.
Yeah. I mean, like we said, we haven't heard Speedball talk, and that's like imagine if Speedball is amazing on the mic and how much that will elevate him, even though he's already upper level right now on the GCW roster. I just think it's such a easy, like, I don't know. We say it's easy. We don't know what's going on, but I just think it's boom. 2 minutes after this match, I'm bleeding all over the place. Cut a quick promo. Boom. Now it's a setup for the next match. Oh, that wrestler sees it the next day. Post another 2-minute video. Now you get the fans invested during the week of, oh, when's that show? Friday night. All right, we got to make sure Friday night. We're not watching anything. We're watching the GCW show. Atticus is finally going to get his comeuppance against Jordan in the no rope barbed wire match. It's just simple thing. I mean, I guess other the more recent one is what we could say: Starboy, Charlie, and Joey Janela against South Pacific Savages. Okay, but that has dragged on for how long? And that's like weeks in between. Where because Juicy Finau and Jacob Fatu are not on every card, where Starboy and Joey is.
Right.
But they didn't even make mention for that match after they announced it for a couple shows. Like it's just there's just a lot of, I think, missed opportunities. But I Blake versus Mox, I guess, would be the next storyline, but that's only because Blake talked, but he repeated himself for 7 promos in a row saying, I'm the one, I'm going to be the one, I'm going to be the Graveheart. And then the truth time comes out and boom, you're nothing but the old all heart with no changes. You talked a big game, you lost, and boom, what was the point of all that stuff? I just think there's a lot of stuff that's missing, a lot of stuff that we think it's simple could be done. And I just think there's a lot out there that could be improving everything and get everyone more invested that they're kind of missing these opportunities on.
2 things that I see, and it's old fashioned, that are missed opportunities. Number one, taking all of the opinions, like social opinions, politics, stuff like that. If you take that away, then you don't alienate people that may have opposite opinion to yours. And that would also ensure that people wouldn't be tearing down each other based upon, say, one opinion. When people are comprised of thousands, if not tens of thousands of opinions. And also, again, cutting these promos. Shit, man, if I was a performer, I would be picking up that phone and putting on so many things online, because there's so many people that would want to see, not me, obviously, but my face, or they'd want to see what I'm saying. This is like, it's a commercial. you're shooting free commercials on your phone. It's not that hard. And again, cut a 30-second promo, shoot it off to Brett, get it cut up, put it on the show. It's not that hard. 7 promos, 30 seconds. That's 3.5 minutes of time. That 3.5 minutes of time could be put right in there in that 15-minute intermission. That still gives you enough time to put on a Los Macizos show, a match. And so this is just, it's, I don't want to say quality, but I do say depth. If there was more depth there, it would add a lot more to the overall product.
Yeah, and I'm thinking, and like, I think they should be done, like, especially on social media too, and not specifically on show, because I'm the same way. When I go to a show, I want to see in ring. I don't want to sit there and watch somebody talk for 30 minutes, 40 minutes. Like, I'm in there for the in ring, and do the little 2-minute videos after the show at the venue. You could clearly see that, hey, that the emotion is still going on. There's a reason for it, and it can extend storylines or make it better, improve it. So who knows? Hopefully we've seen little changes that we've said here and there. So maybe we'll see one here again. It's coming up in the next future show. Who knows?
Well, Christmas is close. So,
Christmas,
you got to ask Santa Claus. Maybe it'll come. And our winner, Los Macizos with the Tiger Driver 91 on Mathers. I thought it was fun to kind of pull it back in.
How about that? I didn't remember. I thought we ended that match.
Oh, did we? Oh, fuck.
No,
well, yeah, but yeah, it got to a point there where after this match was over, Dylan really sold the fact that he got popped hard onto those set of tables there. Way better than expected. This could have been the main event. This really could have been the main event. All these guys, they even do the theatrical bow at the end there. They knew they put on one hell of a match.
And I think that's where I think that's where you have a good show. Is like, I could see a lot of these out of the 8 matches. I could see 6, 7 maybe being the main event too. Like, that's where you got a good card where every match could be the main event. But
okay, yeah,
it was fun.
No. Okay. I was just looking to see. I was almost going to go back and check out the card and go, okay, what would I do? Who would I? Okay. Yeah, knowing the whole card now and knowing how the whole card kind of played out, I would have taken this main event coming up here, and I probably would have put it in another place and brought up the Lucha tag team match and maybe given them another 2 minutes. But no, actually, that 18 minutes was punishing as shit, bro.
I was about to say, Marcus was like, hey, when is this match going to end? I'm tired now. I regret coming in the ring here and getting my ass whipped all the time. But yeah,
this is fantastic. Fantastic match.
Very fun match. Los Macizos versus Wasted Youth. And that will lead us into our main event of the evening as Masha Slamovich goes 1-on-1 against Jungle. Oh, I forgot how they said it. Was it Kiona or Kiona? I think it was
Jungle Kiona.
Kiona, okay. And
well, quote me, so if you're wrong, it's my fault.
Yeah. Exactly. That's how you do it.
Yeah.
Jungle Kiona's making her JCW, GCW debut, and I didn't know where from, but I'm glad you wrote it there, Stardom. And that kind of makes sense because I was going to make a mention going back of all this stuff, like real quickly, of bringing in the video packages or something like Rina Yamashita had the GCW Ultraviolent title belt on a Stardom show. That's just mind-blowing to me, like seeing Long Live GCW on Ric Flair's thing, like GCW is represented in Stardom, and it's so cool. Like, hey, we've talked last time, get a couple of those clips of the matches, the Stardom video. Like, I get that maybe has way more loopholes and stuff you got to go around and headaches where it's not worth it. I understand that one, but I just think it'd be cool seeing Yamashita on a Stardom show, and boom, during a video package, just lets us fans know, hey, it's that belt's out there being defended. She's doing the company good, and she'll be back one day, hopefully, or that belt will be back one day, hopefully. But Masha versus Jungle. I've never seen a Jungle Kiona match. I know I always mess up her name. Masha Slamovich, what she brings to the table. So I went in with a just open mind because I never seen Jungle, and like once I heard Stardom on there and seen it from you, like I was like, okay, this is going to be a not a Sawyer Wreck Janai Kai kind of match. It's going to be more a high-flying, slower-paced storytelling match, and that's what this match was. It was decent. I learned a lot from Jungle Kiona here, and Masha Slamovich stepped up to the plate with a new competitor, and it was a fun match. What was your thoughts on the match?
I think Masha showed off a lot of athleticism in this match. I think a little more even than average. She really pulled it out for this one. We were getting Jungle Power chants for Kiona. In this match, really, Kiona was mostly in control. She did not look rusty, even though she just had a 2-year hiatus from wrestling. So that's fantastic from her for her. Good for her. Kiana was no selling Masha's punches at one point, and I'm not really a big fan of her no selling because Masha's a striker. It weakens her character, and that's BS.
1000% agree.
Yeah, and at one point towards the end, the women beat each other to a point where both of them are down. It goes to a count out close to 8. It is a really good match. It's just there were a couple points there, like I said, where we brought someone in so that Masha could look kind of weak in certain spots. And again, being a striker is 100% of who she is. So, you know, that's like making fun of a Ferrari because it goes so fast. Like, you know.
And I don't even know, like, I don't know anything. I'd never seen. I don't think I've even heard of Jungle Kiona, so that's why that's why I didn't know what to expect coming to this match. And I don't know what kind of style she wrestles or how over she is in Stardom or how popular she is or winning and all that stuff. I had no idea, but yeah, watching this match I had a little different feeling than when, let's say, I was watching the Maki Ito match, where it's like I know about Maki Ito, I know what she's all about, but she still made Billy look really good. I think that's who she went. No, was it Billy or Ali Catch? Oh my God, I'm having a brain fart. That's so many episodes. Okay. But whatever, like Maki Ito looked like, hey, I knew what to expect from her when she came here, and she kind of played off of everything that she wanted to do. So yeah, when I saw Jungle Kiona no selling that, I'm like, hey, is there something, like, does she have the strongest abdominal muscles in all of Stardom, and that's why she's no selling it? It's like, Masha, you're punching my six pack. It's going to hurt your hands and not my stomach. Like, I was the same way. I'm like, Masha's a fucking beast. Like, she needs to be treated like one in the ring, and that's what her appeal is just beating the shit out of people. And when she's sitting there punching Jungle Kiona 10 times and Kiona's no selling it, it's like, is Masha Slamovich really as good as what we thought she was? Like, I had the same thought as you did. It's like, didn't make sense to me, but okay, like maybe there's something I'm missing there or whatever. But Masha definitely, like, this was one of her better matches I've seen, and I like there was a couple shows there where it looked like maybe she was hurt or jet lagged or something going on where she wasn't going as what we normally seen from her. But these last few matches we've seen, she's definitely back to her old self, and I love seeing her back in her old self, because between her, Sawyer Wreck, and Rena and Alley Catch and oh my God, who did Janai Kai? Like, they got a very strong and powerful women's division where I would like to see kind of like a little tournament between all of them. Doesn't have to be a deathmatch tournament, but I think I would love to see all those people in the deathmatch tournament. But I want to see Masha do more, because I think she is kind of being a little underused in GCW, where like the way the matchups are going on. But I think she's a totally different wrestler than what we see from the GCW roster. And I think that's what makes her stand out, in my opinion, in my eyes.
So I'm going over to cagematch.net real quick, and I'm looking up Jungle Kiona. So it shows here that she has 6 years ring experience, and she is a techniquer. I'm guessing that means more of a technique style, and powerhouse. I don't know if the story was told right. Did you see anything that showed powerhouse in Jungle Kiona in the main event of that show?
Other than her no selling the stomach punches, not really.
Exactly, which basically shit on one of our people.
Yeah.
So I honestly, I don't know. 5'1", 136 powerhouse. What? No, I'm dead serious. This has happened with quite a few characters that I've had to try to understand, where they're smaller characters, but they want their punches to be 500-pound punches. Unfortunately, it just doesn't work like that. Gresham's one of them, where he fights like he's 6'6", but he's not.
Yeah.
And this is another one where I really would have loved to have seen the powerhouse portion of Jungle Kiona, because Masha's strong enough to take it. And I just didn't see that in this one whatsoever. So if that was the case and she was a striker, maybe she's just getting her feet back out from back up under her. But there were no power moves.
Yeah. No, I saw a decently a good match, but nothing that like stood out where it's like, oh, she's the powerhouse or she's unstable. Like, I see like Masha, I'm like, oh, she's just unstable. She could
Yeah.
just snap at one moment and go off on everybody. Or Sawyer Wreck, hey, she's tall, she's going to kick everyone's ass. Or Janai Kai, she's a striker, she can kick everyone's ass. Like when I saw Jungle Kiona, I'm like, okay, she's a Stardom wrestler, and that's what I just saw was a wrestler. It wasn't nothing crazy or special, but that could be me not knowing the Stardom product and the stuff. So maybe I'll have to go back and look up some more Jungle Kiona matches. But like, it was a good match, a good decent match, but like I don't see the technique or powerhouse as you said. Like I don't see that with her. It just was a normal match.
Asia Kong.
Yeah,
that wasn't a Kong for sure.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, so I'm like, well, that's not Bull Nakano.
Yeah.
So now I'm really starting to think and try to fucking draw a comparison. I'm just saying maybe something was different that night, but I 100% couldn't have walked out of there thinking that was a powerhouse.
Yeah.
So,
and I'm glad, as well, I'll go right into the ending. Masha Slamovich does pick up the win with the White Knight driver, and I like seeing her back in the win column. Like I said, when she's like 100% and on her game, she's an outlier in whatever match she's in, because I think she has like something special where she's different. And I think that's what kind of made her blow up out here. Was she came out here, like the first I saw was like, oh my God, look, like this is like a Russian Spitfire. She just like, there, I take shots of vodka and I go run all over the place and just beat everyone up. Like, I know it's probably a super bad say, but like that's what I got from her. Was like Masha Slamovich. That's a badass name. She's got the badass look.
And you get a pass.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like, she got the Russian name. She got the, like, it's a badass name. She got the badass look and hairdo, and her in-ring style is badass. Whereas that's something different that we weren't seeing in the GCW independent wrestling scene, women's scene, and men's scene. Like, it was no matter what it was a niche that she found, and I think it was a perfect niche for her. Like, but the first time I saw her, I'm like, whoa, she's different. Like, in a good way. She is different in a good way, where I think she had, like, same thing, has that little it factor where it could push her over to the next level. Like her presentation too was awesome. I like how she kind of presents herself a little bit differently in Impact Wrestling with the fro and the hairstyle and stuff. But I think that kind of looks better when she does it there than what she does in GCW. I think GCW she kind of just like, nope, I'm the badass. I don't need all the pomp and circumstance. I'm just gonna, this is me. I'll show up. I kick your ass. I leave, and that's it. Like. So I'm glad she got the victory, and that keeps that momentum going for her, or regaining some momentum she might have lost, because like I said, there was a couple shows where it wasn't her full self and we could kind of see it, and we talked about it during the matches, but now it looks like she's back to the Russian badass that I saw, which made me think like, okay, she's different. She's going to be doing something in the wrestling scene real soon, and she got signed by Impact. So it's been nice to see.
She has a great wrestling name. Masha Slamovich. It's just a cool name. At the end of this match, basically both women bow to each other, and we get "Please Come Back" chants, which I didn't expect. But again, to each their own. Yeah. No kidding. So they do say, though, something exciting. Atlantic City, October 9th. Jungle Kiona will be coming back to JCW. So if anybody has any interest in seeing her again, you will see her again. That's in Atlantic City, October 9th. That'll also be able to be seen on YouTube. So if you have a chance, check this out. JCW is free on YouTube for anyone who just wants to put the effort into searching.
Yeah, and I think that's the JCW versus the World, I think, if I'm not mistaken. That looks like a pretty good card coming up on October 9th. And that will do it for JCW's Uncensored. Overall, like I said, it was way better than I expected going in. I was excited. I expected to see some craziness, but every performer did way better than I thought. Like the matches were way better, the storylines were way better, the violence was way more than I expected, especially being on YouTube. I even was watching it and I saw some of the comments like after that Mance Warner match or during it, like, is this show gonna get taken off of YouTube? Because there's a lot of blood there, and I don't know if they allow that on live. And I was reading that, I'm like, oh no, let's not have a situation where they can turn it off. But they've had worse blood on that show, so but it did quickly cross my mind when I saw that. I'm like, oh yeah, I wonder how strict YouTube is being with it. But awesome show. Like I said, if any of that sounded interesting to you guys, please go to YouTube, check out, type in Game Changer Wrestling. Even though it's JCW, type in Game Changer Wrestling. It'll be right there on the top front page. You can check out all the other JCW shows for free. And if you want to catch up on the LA fights, since they're about a year, almost like I think they're out in October, their year anniversary is coming up. So if you want to check out some of the LA fights, wrestlers in action for free, check it out on YouTube, because these stars, as you've seen, we're now starting to see on GCW more. So some of those stars, if you watch them there and you like them, they'll probably end up on your GCW screen right here in the near future and continue to kill it, because it's awesome seeing Hunter Freeman from LA Fights, and from JCW, seeing Masha Slamovich, Alec Price, and Marcus Mathers, Dylan McKay, seeing all the JCW people. It's been awesome kind of see them when they get the bigger stage with GCW. So it was fun. This was a fun show. Definitely went above and beyond my expectations, and I kind of had pretty good ones for it, but this was very entertaining. This was a solid show, and I liked almost every bit when I was watching it. There was not really downtime where I'm like, oh, I should go check out something else. I was involved in this show, and I liked it. I liked it. It was good.
It was really good too. I'm with you, man. So what do you think? Some memorable moments?
Yes. Go ahead.
Yeah, let's reminisce. Alrighty. So almost every match was able to have a good time and kind of breathe in this thing. Every match kind of had something different, even with all the extreme and deathmatch styles. Each one used a variety of weapons. Even if they were the same weapons in the next match, they were used in a variety of ways. So it was almost like when we had Tournament of Death, where you may see a match with an emphasis on chair shots, and the next match may have chairs, but it's not going to be an emphasis on chair shots. Every match had, its unique little thing. A punishing opener from those guys. Hoodfoot is back. That's always nice to say out loud. The bull rope match being more dangerous than I thought it would be was something I've wanted to make sure I mentioned. Cole and Price killing it. Cole's title reign being legit. Again, we say it a lot, more than we expected. Seeing Sawyer wreck in a wrestling match without bleeding like crazy was welcome. The Lumberjack Ninjas I thought was a fantastic idea. Macisos and Wasted Youth, it's another quality match from Mathers and Macisos. I only didn't add Dylan on this one because his job in this was more of a spot type situation. So this wasn't him shining like he normally does. I honestly can say, and I mean nothing against it, Dylan's fucking awesome. This match,
I like Dylan, yep.
He took a back seat. Somebody had to take a back seat on this one, and also someone had to be, ballsy enough to go through that contraption they made outside. So, yeah, I think that's pretty much everything. Oh, just seeing Jungle Kiona for the first time was just nice to kind of broaden the horizons a little bit. I'm going to be watching her a lot closer next time to see if I can see some of those elements of what she's known for.
Yeah, my memorable moments was kind of going back to when we were talking storytelling, seeing two storylines being told, which is awesome. Seeing Hoodfoot show up and, hey, we're not done. We never finished our match, Slade. We're going to continue this. It might have happened in GCW, but I'm in JCW here now, and I'm coming after you. And it's like on site. It don't matter if it's JCW, GCW. Who knows if it's in another promotion? Like, it just seems like to me, it's like on site with those two, no matter where they're at. So I like that because it got me emotionally involved. So it was cool seeing Hoodfoot come out. Mance Warner and Slade killed it. And going back to storylines, it was nice seeing Charles Mason kind of being the surprise person and jumping Yoya and continuing or starting a storyline. Well, not continuing if we go back to the settlement series. They've been kind of going after each other all over the place and putting each other in trash bags and stuff. So I just like seeing the storylines being continued to told. Seeing Los Macisos and a JCW for free was awesome. I'll take Los Macisos any way I could see it. And what was the last one I had? I forgot it. So, but it was fun. It was a fun show. I loved it. It went above my expectations. I definitely suggest you guys check it out, especially for free. If you're even listening to this, you might not know what GCW, JCW is, and it sounded interesting to you. Please check it out. GCW, Game Changer Wrestling YouTube. It's on free. It's a JCW show, so make sure you kind of hit look for that at the beginning. It's JCW Uncensored. And yes, fun show, fun night, and good way to end the weekend after the settlement series. I kind of like how they did kind of get violent after all the kind of comedy and stuff like that. I always like to feel like I'm watching two different shows, and yeah, that day was two totally different shows, and I loved it. And I don't know how I feel if they go back to the Boonton Elks Lodge there, but maybe we could see some more stuff at the Showboat or some other places. I would actually kind of like to see like a little more some JCW LA fights, kind of keep going back and forth at some point, but maybe we'll get that again for the next year's collect.
If anyone has a chance to talk to Brett, let him know we have an Elks Lodge in Henderson, Nevada also. So if we need a West Coast mecca for lodging type wrestling matches, we've got quite a few out here. We're not big, but we can suffice. So if we're looking for you're looking for a West Coast affiliate for the Elks Lodges, we got you covered, bro.
Yeah, so we're gonna have to turn this into the new mecca of wrestling.
That's right, Mecca West, baby.
But yes, fun show. Definitely agree that, or definitely suggest you guys all go out there, check it out for free. We will be back live again for our next episode of the GCW Plants podcast, and we will be covering the GCW UK tour as they went to the UK and they did 3 shows at in Liverpool, and they kind of did a couple different crossovers. Out of the 3 events, they did like 2 kind of crossover series with the TNT roster that is out there, but then they also had their own special GCW and Liverpool show. But all 3 shows, phenomenal in my opinion. Loved that crowd, that UK crowd. It's going to be fun talking about them.
That's not good crowd, man.
Yeah, I kind of wish there would have been a New Jack moment during one of the matches when
my gosh, they would have lost it over there.
Yeah, with the scramble match and the scramble belt. I wrote, that's one of my biggest notes I wrote. Was like, oh my god, they could have done like such a cool thing there if the Extreme title belt wasn't on the line. I kind of have a little thing where I wish I would have seen, but it was awesome seeing all the new wrestlers come in too during stuff. We got a lot to talk about at Liverpool. It's gonna be fun because those were 3 fantastic shows, and then after those 3, we will cover this last weekend show, the GCW Shooting Star that happened at the UCC in Los Angeles, California, and hopefully we'll get all those out at some point this week and catch up, as we know that GCW is in Japan right now doing a trifecta of shows out there as well. But we won't be seeing those on Fight TV until this weekend. So even though they happen now, avoiding all spoilers, but I haven't really seen much on there, so it's kind of good. From what I heard it's like good shows, but I haven't really seen spoilers, which is what I like to hear.
Cage Match. Just don't go to Cage Match and look up the specific, because they do kind of put them on there.
Yeah, but I can't wait for those 3 shows, because those 3 are the cards for the Japan shows too. Were fucking amazing. Like
Japan.
Yeah.
Japan, dude.
So I can't wait. We got a lot of stuff coming on. GCW has been killing it. They keep on killing it week in, week out, and I'm loving to see them keep that momentum going, keeping it carrying forward, still putting on awesome shows. Yes, we'll chime in what we think we would like to see more of. It could help improve the product, but I am still enjoying every single second. It just obviously, hey, like we just see stuff that we think that would improve the product, but it's been none of this is a knock on it, because they've all been good. Like I think they kind of, after Hammerstein, went on a little downslope of the quality of the shows, but especially since like the Atlanta show, maybe even before then, they picked it up, and all these shows have been bangers since then, and I've walked out of everyone enjoying it. So it's been fun. I can't wait to see what they got going on after Japan, during Japan, and all that other stuff. And like I said, that'll wrap it up for JCW's Uncensored. Is there anything you want to say to the listeners out there before we send them home, John?
Yeah, we are all just grown children trying to figure this shit out. Be kind.
Yes, be kind. Start hammering out there. We got to get KG back on commentary. Hopefully all is well out there. Keep on supporting GCW, because like I said, they're still doing phenomenal things out there. They've been fun to watch still, and to me it sounds like it's only getting better and better, so I'm excited for what the future holds for GCW.
Thank you.
Yes, on behalf of myself and Mr. John J. Wolf, that will be it for GCW's Plant Podcast, episode 22. And as always, we will send you off with long live GCW. Oh, we fucked up. We were supposed to say JCW.
Hey, you want to try that
one? Let's try that again.
All right, fuck it. Let's do this too.
Retake. Cut.
Okay, no, fuck it. No,
no, I know, yeah. All
We're
right.
human.
Long live JCW.
Fuck it. All right, see you later, boy.